okay, getting the first pick. Oh, get three, Pyro, get three with the
Blade Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Welcome, everybody! I hope you've had an exciting afternoon because it's around 8:32, you know, with the non-existent watch that I'm holding in the Eastern time zone. It's pretty late, and I've got to say, I wish it was raining right now because a storm is brewing when it comes down to these two teams having to meet up in a chance like this. I think is by far the worst opportunity. Some of the best teams within the Transcendence tier will now finally see who will continue moving forward within the playoffs. We have Devil Dukes versus God Hand, and I don't know about you, but that is absolutely terrifying. Will the Smash Bros. Character kind of win out on this, or will the furries finally get their chance and make their victory? Either way, I'm using him underscore Intel here, joined with Mr. Yeti. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it. You got on one side GDH. They are the defending champions. In fact, the core of this team have been champions all the way back to season 3 in Tranquility, part of that undefeated commit team. But GDH, the champion last season, had a bit of a rougher time this season so far. In fact, they just lost to Devil Dukes, and Devil Dukes has really come on of late as the season's gone on. They started stage 1 5-0. Stage 2 was rough. They got exposed a little bit, but they made some changes to that roster, and since then they have been a fantastic team. They haven't dropped a map in this playoffs, including beating Devil Dukes earlier on. I'm sorry, beating GDH earlier on in this playoff. So we've already seen them beat them once, but GDH took them on in stage 2 and beat them there. So this is a bit of a rubber match, user.
I definitely agree with starting on Lijiang Tower of all maps. That's also going to just not be a good start for us to get an idea of how both of these teams are going to work. I think God Hand's always just been one of those more consistent teams, though they still lost. I'll give them that. They've been continuously strong, and I think they have some of the best tier when it comes down to Transcendence players. Though Devil Dukes have always had that kind of clutch potential. It seems that in stage 1, they really went in hard, and then, kind of goes into stage 2, and they sort of went a little bit brainy, don't know what exactly happened. Probably just a little bit more competition and they weren't expecting it. Maybe a little bit more memeing. But either way, it's now a chance for both of them to shine. And I think fairly kind of opinionated, but these teams look a little bit more even. But I feel Devil Dukes, they don't have the advantage from the fact that they won their last game. It's just going to be feeling a lot worse solely from the fact that God Hand are coming back in. They're going to be absolutely furious that they lost the last time. So they have been scrimming. They have been planning.
They really have. And I mean, you got to say both these teams have to come in. I mean, this is a rubber match. We've seen these teams, have a war of words in our Discord on 2 separate occasions. It comes from a position initially probably of, well, we just don't like you, to, I think, more respect as the season's gone on. We've seen a different God Hand. I'm sorry. We've seen a very different Devil Dukes as this playoff's gone on. And I think a big part of that, you have to look at Billy Got, honestly, has been a huge factor in the improvement of that team. Coming in on a main tank here, he's been fantastic for that team. And if you look at GDH, they're returning a lot of fantastic players in this team, but I'd say none better than Orsted in that DPS line. Orsted, the season 1 Tranquility MVP.
Oh, that's some lineage. That is some absolute tier. Personally, for me, I think Dog has just been one of the shining players, and I think I've absolutely fallen in love with him. Though, I got to give some respects onto Devil Dukes as well. Abraxas, while not being one of those strong tank line helpers, he's at least been consistent when it comes down to peeling. I think
Sure.
Cam's one of their shining moments.
Oh, definitely. I would agree with that. And I think one thing that stands out to me most when I look at these two teams is just the overall success of their tank lines. Andy has been a fantastic tank for multiple seasons here in Tranquility. We've seen them shine on so many different occasions. Mammoth Man, also known as Bray. A lot of people know them as Bray.
Moving.
We are
Yeah,
underway here. It looks like. I'm
don't even,
sorry.
yeah, don't even worry. Got a little bit way into it. It seems that God Hand, within that little brief description, they are just gonna move forward. The Junkrat helped a lot when it came to winning out on that fight. It seems Abraxas just wasn't able to eat anything.
Yeah, that was definitely the show of the dog right there, putting on a little bit of work on that Junkrat. I am very fond of a Junkrat on this map in particular, and I'm happy we get to see it pulled out on my first map of the night. Good work by Dog overall there.
Now, as they slowly move into this fight, Dog is using that Riptide to try to end this very quickly. However, it seems that Billy is going to be able to immediately shut this down. Unfortunately, though, it does seem Mammoth is caught a little bit off guard against this window. They're pumping in a lot of damage, though, on both sides. It seems they're easily kind of able to play it around until Kefir gets a very big trick shot onto the Symmetra. Now, this is no longer in favor when it comes down to God Hand. They had to move a little bit back. The Riptide from Kefir is going in, hoping to just find at least one pick. It'll be the big opener that they needed. It's playing very passive, looking to just waste down on their resources. Goes in, Immortality is going to be able to protect them. However, their Sigma is caught off guard. Andy does place down that Shatter, missing a little bit, and as we see Frozen just moving forward, it seems Billy's going to be a lot bigger inside this game. Though not the man, the myth, the legend, is still a god in their own right. We still got Hand wanting to be able to move in. They are trying their best to stall this out, but they don't have control over the point, meaning they are just staggering themselves and helping Kefir get back onto the old economy. Even if the Sigma lives, it's all over.
Yeah, God Hand got a little bit too crafty there, trying to fall back, kite them back onto the point. They lost control of it, and from there, it was just too slow of a fight for God Hand. Not really enough coordination to get that reset in when they needed it to, and they paid the price in a big way. Staggered out about 20 to 30% there. That's just a brutal stagger there for God Hand.
Using that window the moment God Hand walks out, that's a big advantage they're looking for. Makes them have to stand back, allows Devil Dukes to get a bit more control on the point. However, they are using the window a little too late, as Kefir is able to get two. The moment they pop out, the rest of the team onto God Hand, though being able to take 2 picks, lose the majority of their team, so they are not going to be having that advantage. Even the bomb from Abraxas is going to allow him to not only remech, but come back in. Dog's wanting to use the Riptide as like a last-ditch effort, allowing the rest of the team who are slowly respawning to come back and have some form of advantage on the recontest, but losing Dog basically means they have to reset. You can go back in as 3, but Billy's coming back in.
Billy is working their way back in. That was a desperate attempt there from Dog to try to get some momentum going on that point. Only able to really find Billy God on that one. Devil Dukes looks determined right now. They're playing very focused Overwatch.
Yeah, but that's a teleporting Riptide. You've seen it. Kefir going in hard, being able to take out 3, and it seems Frozen is going to be following closely after the Sound Barrier. More than enough to be able to peel. They didn't need it, but they wanted to use it. Gravitic Flux now canceled out. That Doomfist Dog going back into the pound as the rest of the side of God Hand move into the staggered fight. It's into the Symmetra while they're not being able to heal nor damage too much. The Baptiste is able to slightly escape as Andy goes on to the Wrecking Ball to continue contesting this point. Unfortunately, though, it's just not enough on their roster. They don't have the sustainability as Kefir is able to use that trap to melt down Andy. As the rest of the team slowly fall down to the abyss, it seems that God Hand, they're going to have to try a little bit harder going up against Devil Duke, because that's 100 to 37%.
That is, and that was a fantastic display there of teamwork from Devil Dukes. They did a great job of staying coordinated and staying just fantastic overall team use of abilities. They did a really good job of not allowing God Hand's very scattered play style to get them. God Hand likes to play a style that relies a lot more on independent play and less so on team pop off. and you got to. It can be a very frustrating style to play against when you have DPS players like Orsted and Dog constantly in your back line. But got to give it to Devil Dukes. They did a fantastic job of handling them and not allowing them to frustrate them so far. But this map can be a little bit more DPS dominant here, so we'll see if Godhand can bounce back.
Or looks like none of these teams are walking out with a Symmetra Teleporter, which is very uncommon, but for the Transcendence tier, I guess the uncommon needs to be a little bit more familiar. Godhand are walking on to this point. They're going to have a lot of room to immediately capture it and play a very bunkered style, as it seems Frozen's almost going to go down, is able to recall, just barely escape. They lose Frozen, they lose this fight. The rest of the team now want to start collapsing on as Godhand plays slowly onto the edge. The boot just misses out on them, and it seems Abraxas is able to eat up a lot of damage, but they are terrified going in for the brawl. As much as Billy's able to go in and slam, there's still not much of a follow-up. Dog's able to survive due to the immortality, and while this Reaper is lightly being up, it just seems Ice is doing an amazing job to lightly sustain the rest of the team. They play on these edges, but there is not enough boops. The capture is on Godhand, and they pop out the window. Unfortunately, Abraxas is going to fall due to it, and as Frozen places down that pulse bomb, the shield is perfectly going to block it, but break on the other hand. So it's kind of a mismatched situation, though you don't really have to worry too much when Abraxas falls and the Wrecking Ball already so low. You're able to freely win that fight.
Nice flashbang there from Dog to solidify that kill onto Billy God. Finally forces a reset here, which we've been waiting to see for a while from Devil Dukes there. Maybe overstaying their welcome a little bit, but here comes the duplication. Unexpected perhaps from Kefir, but it looks like they're going to initiate here with the Diva duplication.
They really want to go in and try to find any form of an advantage. However, seems Dog's copy wants to just move them back, has to shoot it just to be able to retreat. Praxis's bomb lets them walk in, but Or still has the Death Blossom. Even if those mines are going to be splitting them up, the Wraith is there. The Transcendence being the counterplay for Cam just to find any type of opening. Yet we see Board's own Sound Barrier making a lot of room. Blossom comes out, may be able to take out Cam, but well, nothing too much coming out of there for the Devil Dukes. Thought they may have had a chance, even with the Abraxas popping out a second bomb. Well, no, it was Kefir's own first bomb. I'm confusing myself. And now Frozen coming out with the second sequel, just wanting to make sure they have a victory, especially at 35%. It does still seem Godhand's own Lucio able to bring it in, though Kefir making sure that they have their chance.
Boredom almost clutched that out there with a huge double kill, but you got it. Kefir and Frozen popped off when they needed them to most. Billy God's been very well neutralized here so far by Godhand, but we've now seen Kefir and Frozen both really step up when they needed to there. Frozen got a few nice kills there to help solidify that, and finally some point ticking up here for Devil Dukes.
Devil Dukes may have a little bit more control on the point, but Andy has to shatter, lands it down, misses interestingly enough against the D-Mech onto Abraxas. This is where Billy wants to build up those mines as Kefir walks back in with the copy. It is a massive point flip at that. The mines, though, being able to split Dog. Poor Soul's not going to be able to do too much as Kefir falls down, but Frozen is still on the point, being able to find out the support line. Not much left for the side of Godhand besides their own tanks, which are slowly crumbling down, just like the tower. There's not much that they're going to have, though they still bring it to 96%.
You know, that 98% it looks like actually here just at the very end. That's almost exactly what they were looking for there, trying to run it to 99%. But you got to give it to Godhand. They did a really good job at forcing Devil Dukes off the point. Devil Dukes with a slight error in judgment there, giving Godhand a little too much space, and they paid the price. One fight territory right now for Devil Dukes. They need to win these, probably the next two engagements. There's a big stick from Frozen onto Boredom. Huge play there from Boredom.
Immortality does not save the Lucio, and as Kefir goes on to the Sombra, that's quite interesting. It is a big disadvantage for Godhand as they don't have that speed boost to move faster anymore. Though Billy gets very close to dying. He's able to trade out onto the Tracer, but loses out your own life. The rest of Godhand, they don't really find too much, though it seems they are able to eventually stabilize, finishing off Abraxas. Cam may have this Transcendence, but it's being used with the rest of the team is already gone. It's just stalling out for as long as possible. They've lost their Sombra, the Wrecking Ball comes in, but the Shatter takes out your own Brigida. You're now being traded out in this fight, and at 99, you really need a bigger moment. It seems Frozen's just going to be flashbang in clipped as Abraxas just comes in, placing out the bomb. It's able to just barely remake by the skin of their teeth, but it's still not enough until walks into the mines. Gilbert's coming back in with the rally, giving them a little bit more sustain. However, Dog's on high noon with exactly what they needed, combined with the the flash. Well, I'm guessing who's going to the bound now because we're going on to the last point of Lijiang Tower.
You know, Dog really shined on this map. Did a fantastic job taking on Billy. Got on that wrecking ball, completely neutralizing Billy for much of the map there. But I was really impressed with Ice. Ice on the Baptiste. There was a couple moments there, especially later in that map, where it got really dicey. Ice even ate a Discord orb, and yet was still able to use the Exo Boost, stay out of the way of that Tracer who was trying to dive in and finish him off while he was discorded. That was really well played by Ice, and we see Ice flipping over now to the nails as we bring in a little bit of six-man from Godhand, and it looks like it's going to be returned here by Devil Duke. So we're going to get a classic six-man brawl here on Garden here to wrap up the job.
Nothing better than a marsupial team using Shadow Dive to their advantage. It is going to be that straight mirror, so the first person to get hacked will be the bigger problem. Yet they just ignored on the side of Godhand, walking in, melting down Billy, and now Abraxas isn't going to get too much done. Luckily enough, Kiefer is able to get the mech, but still loses your own life, so this point is going to go in favor of Godhand.
Point goes to Godhand here to start. Godhand with a fantastic beginning here. Really has come around since that first map. The chemistry seems to have built up. Guessing he just needed that one map warm up.
Look at that, a beautiful coalescence to let them go in, but an even better boop, making sure that Cam get full value out of that coalescence. The EMP being traded out, both teams massively hit. However, it just seems Godhand getting a little more value out of it. Still, Q-Up and Abraxas, an amazing duo, being able to come in, take out two, looking to find out Billy. Unfortunately, Godhand's just being able to find a lot more clutch potential, especially during these mid-fights.
That was a fantastic EMP from both Frozen and Orsted. Both hit the entire opposing team. But unfortunately, Devil Dukes were already down one when Godhand had a full team when that EMP went out. And, I mean, it's just math at that point, folks. Godhand had the advantage. But this still is anybody's fight right now. Godhand sitting on a lot of ults, but Devil Dukes is coming back with a couple of their own here. Certainly not done.
Brax is not able to eat the pulse bomb and gets hacked, so not much coming out of the team when it comes for Peel. Losing that mech is going to be a big problem. Billy's looking to do what they can inside the backline, but it's just not enough. The rest of the team falling down, so, you know, at least you repeat the Harambe.
You gotta love the decisive play there from Godhand. Really moved in quickly, initiated with Coalescence. It's exactly what you want to do with the six-man. They used one ultimate. They hold three for this, what could be this final fight here of Lijiang.
Now moving out into this bridge, this is more of the opportunity that it gives Godhand the moment to see who they want to go after. They are coming up on some ultimates though. Frozen losing inside the EMP war. The Death Blossom combined with the bomb, it matches the sound barrier, breaks it through. Board's gonna fall, but Cam trades out. Though it seems that the rest of Devil Dukes are gonna be able to make up what they've lost. Even if Frozen goes down dangerously low, Andy's Primal Rage can only last for so long at a dangerous amount of health as the Reaper continues to push. We see that Pulse Bomb go in, not able to get the counter mech on two. Yeah, look at that. Dog's just continuing to move forward to find these picks. The EMP last is on the point. We get the counter, but the sound barrier for the side of Devil Dukes may be what they needed. The rest of Godhand are just struggling to be up as Cam goes in for the DPS, gets that peel, and, well, they're going to just barely bring it back.
You know, you got to call that EMP into question from Orsted there. They were down in the match. They tried to clutch it out. And look at the ultimate economy now. They just wasted. They're losing EMP. They could have had this over in one fight. Now they're behind in the EMP race. Looks like they're probably going to try to farm up a Coalescence here for another engagement. But then again, if you look at Devil Dukes, they have no ultimates either. So if Godhand can farm up that Coalescence quickly here, you've got to figure Godhand's got an advantage going into this fight.
Dry DMs are here. Q-Up is the one who's getting hacked, so it's not going to be the biggest problem as both teams are waiting for some type of pick or ultimate to appear to be that engager. It seems Ice's Coalescence is the one that they're looking for. Devil Dukes just can't do anything against it. Immediately, Cam is going to get hacked, pressured out. Abrax is able to trade onto board, but it's just not enough as they're fighting within this 4v6. A big 3k pick, and Abraxas places down that bomb, meaning that nobody's going to immediately capture on. Billy does get hacked as they jump, but Kiefer, the true DPS star, is going to find out Andy move in with Frozen, and they save that fight from the clutches.
That was a fight they had no reason to win, and they somehow found a way to do it anyways. Amazing play there from Billy Got, Frozen, and Keffer to clutch that out. Both did fantastic there. It was a great initiation from Godhand, just did not finish the job, and that's what it boils down to. You got to finish a fight. Just because you get the first picks doesn't mean it's over.
It's going to be a bigger problem for the side of Godhand as they don't have the EMP comparably to Frozen. Immediately moving in, but it's just to find out too, and now they immediately melt in. Combined with the Pulse Bomb, there is nothing Godhand can do against that big slam. May not be a shatter, but it's still much of a boom.
Now, if you watch here, though, they did use Coalescence. Now, there's going to be an opportunity for a recontest here, almost certainly from Godhand. They will have the EMP coming in, as well as the Diva Bomb and a Primal. There's a good hack from Frozen here, but they do get on the point nonetheless. Here we go.
What? Yeah, but looking for the boot. Billy wants to stall them for as much as possible. They are able to lastly touch it, and they have a bunch of ultimates, able to place that EMP, find out 3, and the bomb being thrown out. It seems the over-eagerness from Devil Dukes was their own punishment, split and no longer as a unit, Cam being forced off away from the team. They are having to stagger themselves onto the point, but it just seems it was not Devil Duke's map. Godhand being able to move in and slowly melt them down. If Kiefer can just find the 6K, then not only is just MVP title, but the ability to win. But you fall off the map notoriously bad, and it seems that Godhand, they're placing it on the table, and they're saying Lijiang Towers is ours.
You hate to see that as the way you end that map when you're trying to clutch it out and trying to. We've seen stalls go on Lijiang Gardens for so long, and it's so common for them to last an extended period of time. But instead, what you end up getting is just that unfortunate clip. You hate to see it. That's a noob hunter moment right there, is what that is. So, and not the noob hunter moment you necessarily want to have. But Godhand came out. They got map 1. Now we've seen these teams go to map 5, or map 5 in the earlier rounds of the playoffs. You got to figure a map 7 is probably in order here with the way these teams play. That was a close map.
You know, I really don't want to say, you know, like, oh no, that's impossible, because both of these teams, I feel, are going to be going the extra way. Devil Dukes may have lost on to Control, but I think Control is one of those maps that you don't really have to worry too much about, because you're only going to go back to it once more. A lot of these fights take place onto Escort, Hybrid, and obviously 2CP as it goes by. Still an impressive format for Godhand to be able to control the series and, well, stabilize. They would have lost if that Primal got a lot of value and booped them off. Would have been really unfortunate, but hey, they're much better than we truly ever expected.
Yep. Honestly, I mean, that was a really what stood out to me more than anything, if I'm being perfectly honest, with DPS play from both teams. Frozen and Kiefer, I really didn't know what to expect from either of them. I feel like I haven't seen enough of them personally this season. You know, we saw Devil Dukes in a feature early on, and we really didn't get an opportunity to see much of them during that feature. So it's nice to see that we finally get a chance to see their skills, and they're going toe-to-toe with Dog and Orsted, who have been the vaunted DPS duo much of this season. Basically probably regarded as the highest, maybe next to probably I would say Cosine and Rin from Alpha. You know, you gotta say this is going to be a heck of a match. We've seen they've gone toe to toe, and I'm really impressed with what both these teams have brought to the table so far. They've both been fantastic.
Yeah, luckily though, the next map will allow us to get a better insight onto both of these teams. Volskaya Industries, of all maps, is definitely by far my favorite when it comes down to 2CP. It feels very fair, and I think this is where we're going to get a bigger moment to see how these teams work. I definitely want to be seeing more out of Devil Duke's own support line. It just felt Cam and Q were very split from the team. They got focused out a lot onto that last part of Lijiang Tower, and it cost them a lot of those pushes. Even if Kiefer can kind of peel in and Frozen has those EMPs, there's only so much you could do comparably to Board and Mam, who were able to always come back, support as a unit. Volskaya Industries is all about rotations and teamwork, so we're just going to have to see how they work as a unit.
Yeah, Volskaya is I mean, that's general for 2CP. It oftentimes comes down to which team works together best in that, you know, at that time. And I think Volskaya, especially the point A, can be so telling about how well a team works together, because it requires very tight rotations, very good coordination, especially if you're kind of negotiating that high ground. negotiating on either side, depending on the comp you're playing. Who's going to get that first touch? How are you going to arrange, or how are you going to handle it once the touch happens? How are you going to rotate if they're playing Brawl into your double shield? How are you going to do all those things? It's all that stuff you prep all season for in scrims, everything you've been prepping for the 15 weeks so far in this season. It kind of leads to moments like this where just how well you play together can really make a difference in these final rounds. Now, I will say Devil Dukes is a newer team than God Hand, but I will say also that I think Devil Dukes is probably the more coordinated team than God Hand, because we know what God Hand's scrim schedule is. They had one scrim at the beginning of the season.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, they had one scrim at the beginning of the season, and I believe that was it. So
hopefully, their scrim schedule has increased at that time, but this is Dive versus the Wrecking Ball strategy. I think this is by far the most even compositions to be going up against each other on something like Volskaya.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that for sure. And it looks like we have Ball. I do like the Ball Sigma here on attack. I think it gives you a lot more options than running a dive or a 6-man. But it's funny, as I say that,
they just immediately go back to their spawn room and switch. That's some good mental fortitude to understand that, hey, this may not work with what they're running, so let's just not even risk it, give them ult charge. So as they slowly move out, this is all about spacing. One bad dive can cost everything. So as Abraxas is the one who's going to get hacked, Billy's able to rotate, place the bubble. Though they are able to immediately rotate out, it seems that Devil Dukes are getting the advantage out of the ult economy in this push. Frozen going into the back, making sure that the D.Va isn't able to do too much. Frozen going for those hacks, kind of far back onto the health packs, but it's just not too much. This is where Godhand move out into the open, trying to go onto the high ground. Unfortunately, though, Devil Dukes, they're not able to protect Kiefer, and they lose out onto the Reaper. Now in this 5v6, we do see the Monkey, Billy, using the Primal Rage, looking to solidify any form of a pick, but isn't able to really get anything out besides from a couple boops. Both Coalescence getting nullified on each other, but Frozen's EMP was built first! The solidifier, as Andy's just not going to be able to live. Poor Bam just not going to have too much, though. This Reaper comes back in, denies the hack. Somehow God Hand being able to survive for a lot longer than we truly could expect, having this EMP, but the bomb's going to be able to slow them back until dawn. And Abraxas go head-to-head in an ult fiesta, though they're not going to be able to win this. God Hand still got something better out of it.
God Hand comes out of it here with 4 fantastic ults on the table. Right now, Kiefer the closest to his ultimate for Devil Dukes. You gotta like the position God Hand is in. It's not the fight result that you wanted, but you gotta like the result that you're sitting at if you're looking at where God Hand's at. They have to get the reset in for Devil Dukes. They're trying to push in right now. They gotta push in knowing the EMP is in, and it's big.
There's nothing you can do against it. That's a 4-man. Kiefer does have the Death Blossom, as immediately once the hack goes down, they've used all their ults. The sound barrier from Q-Warp is going to be able to counter out boards, and it seems that they're just looking to be as a unit. The counter EMP, Frozen builds that so fast. Unfortunately, Kiefer still dies while using the Blossom, but the rest of Devil Dukes, they're going to be able to freely match it up. That bomb finds out Billy, and now God Hand just barely getting this trick back into the palms of the name, even if we see Frozen doing as much as they can with Cam to finish them out. Losing out Billy kind of late in that fight, it's what's going to cost them, even if Cam gets that sneaky pick.
Frozen building up 2 EMPs in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's a fantastic build rate right there. If you are, you got to be happy with that if you're Frozen. Despite losing that first point, you have to be confident that you're going to build one up here real quick. And it's just, Frozen is outmatching Orsted right now on the Sombra, and that is clear to me right now. Frozen has been outstanding despite losing that first point. I still think Devil Dukes right now definitely is in control, and Frozen is actually lapping Orsted right now on build rate for EMP. That's outstanding.
It's the moment like that when Frozen is willing to go much further, go on these off angles, comparably to God's Hand own Sombra. That's what's making the difference. So as they're fighting a little closer, look at this Frozen at 92%, quickly coming up. Gonna have an EMP for this fight, pops it, and that's a 6 main or sixth thumb, whatever pronouns you're choosing to prefer. Though they're having to back up, it seems Devil Dukes are going to be playing a little more passive. They have the respect and the care for themselves, though the bomb is going to be stopping that Coalescent from truly coming in. It seems Dog was well positioned to pop out onto the Death Blossom moving forward. This is the staggered fight. Volvo Sky is seeing which team is going to have the weaker focus fire. It seems they are going to be sacrificing up to 2 ticks as Billy comes back with the Primal. Is going to drop down onto the point, deny the hack. Dog looking to stop anybody from moving in. Or it's the moment they have that EMP gets hacked. So, and dies. That's not good. The rest of the team are going to be struggling to make up with it. Though that bomb places on the point, finds out too, makes the monkey go off, and well, solidifies their chances.
So 2 things happened at the end there that I absolutely loved. First thing was Orsted identified immediately as a focus target there by Devil Dukes. Despite the limited presence on point, they recognized that they were to have any shot at this, they had to finish off. Orsted, and they did. And that was a great job there for both Frozen and Billy Got to make that happen. But Mammoth Man with a very, very good response with that bomb. There was just no chance for them to maintain hold on the point while they had that, especially because Billy Got could not drop a shield because he was in Primal. It was a great job for Mammoth Man overall to get that taken care of. And I mean, Mammoth Man did exactly what they needed to do to close out the point for God Hand. 2 minutes and 43 seconds. It's a respectable time. You know, it's time that can very easily be eclipsed here. But by all means, you know, Devil Dukes, they have their work cut out for them here.
You know, more than that, it just felt they played at a different speed. Once Frozen used that EMP, they were not worried about dying. They knew the moment Devil Dukes walked into them, they had enough room to play around it. Even if they lost them, they were coming back with their own. So as long as they played to their win conditions, they had it. And that's really good understanding coming out of God Hand. I'm more interested to see to the fact that they are moving out onto Pure Bunker going up against this Shadow Dive. Though this is a very good composition to counter against it, it's going to be more onto Devil Dukes to see how they are the engagers. They do immediately notice it as that Torb turret's just poking them down. Frozen wanting to try to find any poke, but losing out Cam, that's the biggest problem you could ever look out for besides from losing your Lucio. Now they're stuck inside this small room, and unfortunately they are slowly going to be collapsed on, trapped inside your own mind. This is my own mental nightmares.
That's a tough spot right there. That's a tough spot right there for Devil Dukes, but they're gonna come back here. They don't have much built up yet for ultimates. Really, Dog on that Torbjorn is going to be a big problem for them though with this composition. Torbjorn is so powerful on this first point, playing multiple angles, multiple altitudes as well. It's a tough comp to deal with.
I mean, the air is getting pretty thin, just looking how close it's having for both of these sides. However, it just seems that the Shadow Dive, the Devil Dukes, weren't able to kill off Andy, meaning they weren't able to finish it off. We do get a pause during the late end of the fight, but Devil Dukes still lost it. They're having a lot of trouble isolating off anybody and getting a pick because of it, and that's what's working well with the bunker. They've been striving very well off of it, and I just got to give a point out to Andy in that last fight because they got bubbled off, but then it immediately breaks to get that healing from ice, and that's how your support line should be peeling in for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say here that the composition from Devil Dukes, I'm sorry, the composition here from pardon me, from God Hand is absolutely the right choice here. It's a very frustrating thing to deal with, especially the Sombra. Frozen has played fantastic on the Sombra, and I feel like it's just a struggle to get in when you're playing that Sombra here on the map, and it just can turn into an absolute frustration when you're trying to get those hacks off. You really have to play the appropriate angles, and it can really mess up your ability to free charge an EMP. Looks like we had somebody have some hashtag Spectrum problems, and but it looks like we're finally getting back and ready to go here. It looks like both teams are ready.
Yeah. You know, honestly, it's just Frozen the way that they're playing. It's the style that they want to go out on, which is not really benefiting them, especially with Orstrid on to the Cassidy. Cassidy just works so well right now in mid to close quarters rather than that long range comparably in the back times, so you know it's just mattering on how are they going to build up their ultimates really quickly comparatively to like Andy. So they do move out. They at least have this setup as there isn't too much of a split. Walking out wanting to take the Brigida, poor soul, or just wants to be able to play the game and defend their team as the Baptiste uses that window, gets immediately picked. They get caught with their pants down. The pause may have been a big punishment for their own momentum building, as there's only 2 left on this point. There's only so much you can do. Dog does have the Molten Core, but they're going to be saving it for the next round. Devil Dukes at least capture this and keep that EMP.
And Devil Dukes will be coming to point B with basically 6 ultimates on the table. It's so funny how quickly something can turn from a situation that looks tough, and I don't want to say dire, but perhaps challenging to say the least. Suddenly now this point is very, very favorable for Devil Dukes as they come into this point with 6 ultimates on the table. It's going to be a tough one for and that's a fantastic EMP.
Yeah, but guess who stayed back? Big Daddy Dog, as they stayed back, place more core spreader on the point. Somebody has to be used to peel in, and it seems that Devil Dukes really just don't care too much. They're being able to find out these picks, solidify their chances on the point, and we see Doug try their best to touch, but it's just gonna cost them as they immediately caught up by the Death Blossom. The ult combo's way too strong, and 3 minutes and 42 seconds versus 2. That's still very close.
You know, one thing I will say in 2CP, if you get caught being able to capture that first point without having to burn an ultimate, like we saw from Devil Dukes there, suddenly point 2 is just a breeze if you have the coordination that a team the caliber of Devil Dukes brings to the table. And exactly what we saw. I mean, there was just nothing that God Hand could really do. They needed him to a miracle play there from Dog. Dog managed to avoid that EMP, but they just could not get the play they needed in order to secure the point and try to help that team stay afloat there. It's so hard, especially when 6-man gets momentum. It can just absolutely destroy your chances of winning. And we just saw that here. Fantastic 6-man overall play there from Devil Dukes. God Hand gonna have to come back with a 6-man of their own, and we'll see what they bring to the table.
It's gonna be getting a little bit more dire, as more than anything you need a time bank when it comes down to this. And well, I think God Hand, they've been looking a little bit better comparably on this Shadow Dive. At least they're winning the majority of these fights. Maybe that's the fact Keyword's having the Excelsior skin and NPC is, you know, DDoSing them because of it. I mean, they have like 2 Dallas Shield skins, so it works out either way.
Yeah.
But this is still gonna matter to see how they move in. They are, oh, they heard the monkey. They may be able to push in on the side of Devil Dukes. That bubble slows them down because Cam gets hacked, not gonna be able to wraith out, gets picked, but they're able to trade on at least that support line, so not too much of a problem. At least Devil Dukes can rotate out much faster, but they still need to wait for Cam to return, which is going to be a little bit longer. Frozen's main job is to build up this EMP, especially when losing Abraxas' mech. You're losing that own security. The rest of the team trying to get into that mega health pack room, but falls down, losing control. This is slipping from the grips of the hands of the Devil Dukes. Though we see God Hand being able to get this tick, Devil Dukes are more playing inside the mega health pack room, taking their time, not worrying too much. Abraxas gets back to the mech, but the Coalescence giving them the engagement tool that they needed. Frozen has the MP, pops it out, manages to find 4. Unfortunately, Q-Warp is going to be falling down. They need to be getting a little bit more out of it, as Kiefer, as being the DPS god, or tries to just make that difference and find out 3, but it's just not enough. They're not going to be able to collapse, and Billy comes with the Primal Rage, combined with the Blossom. How do you just headshot against the Blossom and kill? Blizzard, what? At least Billy can bring in the Rage, pumping out their chest, as I'd like to say, and they stop it just barely at the last hit.
Billy came up with 2 big kills there right at the very end, finding both supports that really slowed down and basically ended that one for God Hand as they tried to push through. 20 seconds left here on this. God Hand's coming in. They really only have the Death Blossom immediately, but they will have a sound barrier to push in with no EMP to counter from Frozen. But Frozen finds Orsted. It's just Frozen.
Yeah. The Blossom goes out, but it's stuck inside of its own bubble against nothing, basically. The rest of the team inside this. Oh no, a 4v6 as it slowly goes down. Devil Dukes, they have the better focus fire as they slowly melt down. Kiefer definitely stole that rematch kill. Poor Braxis. But it seems they still got 2 ticks. About 2.5 more of it. So Devil Dukes still have very much a challenge to break through.
Devil Dukes still have a bit of a challenge here with 3 minutes and 40 seconds, but I'm sorry, pardon me. Yes, Devil Dukes, they still have a bit of a challenge to get those ticks that they need. We've seen crazy holds on this point before. It's not impossible. We've said it before that the rotations can be critical here. If you don't play the rotations correctly, if you overplay your hand, you can really pay the price on this map. It's so easy to fall behind on this map in these first point fights. But we have seen fantastic coordination, especially in these 6-man or these 6-man dives. Billy Gott has been just outstanding on this Winston so far, and it has been well. I mean, like I said earlier, Frozen, they're just outplaying Orsted right now in the Sombra duel, and we actually see Orsted get off the Sombra and go to the Cassidy here, which I think is a good play.
I definitely respect it. I think the double shields worked. Maybe the pause kind of weakened them a little because they weren't exactly a little bit prepared against it. But this gives Devil Duke a bit more of an opportunity to play against it. They know what's going to happen. And yeah, you're very much right. Frozen has just been shining on the Sombra.
Yeah, Frozen has been outstanding, and that's no question about that in my book. It comes down here, honestly, to me, what's going to make a difference is how can they contain Frozen. They need to find a way to get them under control. We haven't seen that so far tonight. We really need to see that right now if they're going to have a chance.
This is where you just get Disney, and the copyright is right there. However, it just seems Godhand are going to be playing a little bit more bank. As much as Abraxas wants to control this high ground, you're taking in a lot more damage, which, hey, at least helps your team get a bit closer to that Coalescence. Frozen almost goes down to the Cassidy, but it's just freely able to escape. One shot missed. Abraxas finds out Orst. That's going to be a big problem. The Orisa needs the Cassidy to help peel in, especially because Abraxas is AD strafing. What are you going to be doing against it? You managed to find out Billy. You do trade in onto Abraxas, and it seems the Brigade is doing their job perfectly. The true MVP, I'd have to say, was Board, just keeping up the Baptiste.
You know, honestly, I was a little bit surprised to see what Godhand not go down there early. We saw Orsted on that Cassidy get caught with their hand in the cookie jar trying to get Frozen out there. They switched over to the Tracer at the very end. I was expecting once that kill went through onto Orsted, I thought it was over, but serves me right for doubting Godhand here. You can't count them out.
Never. You never want to. Though they managed to catch the Orisa out in a rotation, question mark. Immortality and Window are going to be able to peel for a little bit longer, so it's a 2v1 right now when it comes down to the pick potential. But it seems the double shield is collapsing much farther. Controls going on to the point as we see them fight. Out here, the Death Blossom goes in. Kiefer's getting a lot more value onto it. And the rest of the side of Godhand, it just seems it's the NPC favoritism for me, as they're going to be able to bring this closer to the second tick. Pike, possibly, they're going to be getting it. Unfortunately, a Caesar's Dog is going to be getting hacked, not going to touch the point, and that's what I call a comeback, as Devil Duke ties up this series.
Devil Dukes doing what they have to do to get the series tied up. Good job there overall from Devil Dukes to secure that one. I have to say, I was a little bit surprised that we saw that kind of reckless rotation there from Godhand at the very end. They just needed to kind of stick to their plan and follow suit with what they were doing. It was working really well. But unfortunately, they got a little carried away, and well, we saw them pay the price.
Yeah, I don't really have a clear idea why the Orisa exactly was back there. Maybe the main point was because your Cassidy died very early in that last fight and they're still coming back, so you want to give them a little bit of a shield because they're going to dive onto you, but the rest of the team, they weren't exactly with you, and you got dived on, so it was still a big punishment nonetheless, but these teams are still relatively equal, I think. They were extremely close, and it really just came down to the fact that Devil Dukes had a little bit more of a decisiveness when they play, and Frozen's continuous EMP building, which is something that we have to emphasize.
All right, I do have some updates on some of our other matches, by the way, just to get those out in the open, because we have several other matches going tonight. We have one that is actually airing tomorrow on this very channel. That's Paradise Lost versus Quokka Queens. You won't be hearing any updates about that.
Yeah, no leaks.
No leaks. You have to tune in tomorrow to hear the score on that one. We have in the Transcendence tier as well, you have Battalion, the 8th seed, the wild
Ooh.
card team Battalion taking on Reckless Alpha. Reckless Alpha has not lost a map this season until tonight.
Oh.
Battalion has we are now even the score 1-1 after Battalion took Lijiang Tower to kick off their match tonight. So 1-1 right now. Reckless Alpha versus Battalion. In the Discord tier, again, we have Paradise Lost and Quaka going right now, though that match will be aired tomorrow, as well as Reminiscence taking on Domination. Reminiscence up 2-0 in that one. And then the last tier, the Harmony tier, we have Koala Kings taking on Chrysalis. Koala Kings right now sitting up 1-0. They are making their way over to Volskaya, it looks like right now. And then with flashbacks, they're up 2-0 over Frost Nova in the Harmony tier semifinals as we sit right now. But man, Battalion, the upstart, the underdog, they took a map. They took Alpha. They've shown a weakness. They can be beat.
If there's any team I never want to talk about, it's always going to be Battalion, because they will always ruin your predictions 100% of the time. Obviously, like last week they managed, or like the week before, they managed to get a massive reverse sweep against Decapitators, which was insane. And, you know, I feel like I should have been casting Paradise versus Quaka Queens, because I love both of those teams. So absolutely neutral when it comes down to them. And, you know, everyone else, I'm just wishing luck, because there's only so many opinions I can give out in a day without looking a little bit more biased for the team that branding I'm wearing right now, you know?
Yeah, I know, you got
it's not biased.
It's in the end, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I am completely unbiased, but there's no potato teams left, so I can't really claim bias here at all.
Yeah, they're in the deep fryer.
Exactly, the potatoes have been in the deep fryer for a couple rounds now.
Yeah, and it's King's Row though, so I mean, at least you don't have to worry about anything too greasy. I think this is by far one of the cleaner maps, especially on the streets. Though if you count Omnic Discrimination, maybe a little bit more greasy then.
You know, we're getting some fish and chips. We're sitting here in the streets of Kings Row. You know, I mean, speaking of deep fried potatoes, now I'm hungry. I don't know about you, but we go to Kings Row. We're 1-1 right now in this matchup, and it's kind of as we talked about at the beginning. We expected this to be a good match. We expected it to be close. And that's exactly what we're getting. We get our first look at what Devil Dukes is rolling out on defense, and it's King's Row, so what do you expect? But Rectangle Man, Reinhardt is in play here. they bring the Reinhardt to the table here, and they're going to be taking on perennial all-star, I think now 4-time all-star Andy. That is a tough challenge right now if you're Billy God.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a little bit more disappointed. I feel the Transcendence tier, you debatably can run one of those harder compositions like the Wrecking Ball, which works very great. I think it's actually the better composition for this map, but, you know, I'm not going to be expecting too much out of them. If Brawl is what works, it's what works, and it's very much the fundamental of King's Row. So this is going to be a fight of, wait, Cam is actually the only person on to May. It's Cassie and Reaper, something I didn't immediately notice. Both flashes going out. Seems they're going to be hitting the shields as the slow neutral is kind of making its way out. It just seems Devil Dukes have a bit more of the advantage. Nobody on the side of God's Hand want to peek too early without having their entire team with them, or they get walled up. That immortality just barely going to be able to protect the side of God Hand, and Andy not going to be able to protect the rest of the team. Manages to build up that shatter first, and MTV's a little bit, but Cam has to use that Blizzard just to solidify their own victory. That's a big ultimate that you had to use.
That's a good ultimate there from Cam to spin that fight back in their favor. They were, Devil Dukes were completely on the ropes there after that fantastic Earth Shatter from Andy. But Cam did exactly what you have to do. Now, we've seen May fall out of favor a little bit on offense on this map from what I've been seeing lately. A lot more going to that Reaper than we have seen otherwise, or maybe a Hanzo. We see the Deadeye in from Frozen, not finding anything here. But User, here we go again.
Look at that. Billy's going to be falling down very early. Losing on your main tank is the biggest point, so Abraxas has to make a play. Combined with Cam, they actually get 3 picks in, especially the repick. Sure, that tick is going to be gone, and it seems that Andy is going to get too much. God Hand, it's a little bit more embarrassing. Just getting killed by not only the bomb, but the remake.
Borderline inexcusable there, honestly, if you're Godhand. You hate to have that happen in a situation where you have a huge advantage with the early pick on the Billy God, and they just basically throw the advantage away. It's a shame. I mean, that's a match. That's a point they should have been able to take there, but the fantastic ultimates have been consistently committed here. And we see Cam now already on their second Blizzard, and there it is. It's a fantastic one again.
There's not even much you could do. You lose out your Reaper, so at least your Cassidy has the High Noon. But look at them, playing behind the old shrine.
Frozen!
Stop having the ego, Frozen!
Frozen, just a huge error on Frozen's part. They had a very easy opportunity to be able just to chill behind the statue for about one more second, but they got greedy. They wanted that extra poke, and they paid the price for it. And now they're down in this fight. And here comes the application.
Oh, but poor Andy was caught out. The sound barrier is a little bit late, and Frozen's returning to the fight with a High Noon of their own. While this Death Blaster gets canceled out due to the Shatter. Devil Dukes have such a good control when it comes to Brawl. They're not really having to worry too much.
Devil Dukes are just outplaying Godhand right now on the Brawl. Despite the thing is Godhand has been getting the first pick in almost every single one of these fights. When you're the defending team on point A, that's almost always a death sentence. But Godhand has consistently failed to secure the fights. And that just goes down to the fantastic team play from Devil Duke so far. But Godhand comes in again. They have two big ultimates with their tank ultimates here. But Cam has another Blizzard. And here we go.
Yeah, look at that. That bomb's gonna be placed out. It breaks the shield, but they're caught on the Blizzard combined with the Braxton's remake and bomb. Not again. Not another one. The man may be bad, but he is absolutely insane as they move forward, and they continue to not let Godhand have any chance.
Just almost inexcusable errors here from Godhand. The tank, or they got very greedy pushing into Abraxas's bomb, and you just got to play that a little bit more conservative. And they absolutely paid the price there, and it's a shame for Godhand because they're getting the jump on a lot of these fights, but Devil Dukes have just been so resilient, and it's very commendable in a brawl situation. But here we go now with the Doomfist from Dog, and that to really try to find a way to turn this around.
As they move out, they need to get a little bit more of the action. The window does split up the rest of Devil Duke, so they're not going to peel in for those little bit of squishies like Frozen. Poor little soul as Abraxas tries to help, but they are able to find out the Reaper in the midst of it. Poor Cam getting hit by the Doomfist, now fighting on to the point, going out for that slam, almost finds out Q in the Shatter! Wow. Slams down onto the Doomfist, though you're not going to solidify that pick, and it seems that it's a little bit over. You're getting very close to that fold. We'll give you that, Devil Dukes, but it seems Godhand are always going to go the distance.
You know, Godhand made that way more interesting than it needed to be, but Dog switching over to the Doomfist made a big difference there. It was really good diva play from Mammoth Man. They immediately isolated Frozen out of that fight, put them into the back room by the Mega Pack, and it was there's just nothing Frozen could do there. There's not enough damage. They were able to mitigate as much as the damage as possible with that defensive matrix, and it was just too much Mammoth Man there at the very beginning of that fight to really clean up onto Frozen, and then from there it was just Dog and Andy doing the work they needed to get done.
They have a lot of security when it comes to this. That's a very nice wall, but Frozen can only get so much. I'm more interested in the fact that Dog is still on the Doomfist. The window does split it up, but they lose that out, and, well, the remake is going in for Abraxas in the midway. The free charge allowing them to get a little bit more space, having some freedom, as Billy is Goomba stomping on top of their heads and is freely able to escape. This is not experimental. What was that?
I have no idea right now. I am honestly a little confused, but nonetheless, now Godhand is back on the ropes here. This is a very tough, you know, the thing with Streets on Kings Row is it's all about momentum, and when you have that momentum stopped, it's so hard to get it going again. And right now, Devil Dukes have a very good defensive spot here, holding it at the archway, and they really don't have anybody who can play off angles here besides Dog, and here goes Dog, but they get stunned out almost immediately there by Frozen, and Dog is forced to fall back towards their team, as we see sound barriers now from both teams.
They throw the bomb just to make a little bit more space, but they aren't going to be having too much when it comes to just at least they find out Cam, which was the biggest threat that they had to worry about. So in this last minute push, they're just able to move in onto Devil Dukes, though it seems they still want to slowly fight it, not give up too much space, land that shatter. They find out too, the Blossom falls down, it's going Christmas. However, it's actually Hanukkah, and it seems that you weren't respecting the 7 players that are still there because they are just so skillful. They've got 2 monitors clicking down on you, as Dog is just not going to get too much on this Doomfist, fall a little bit back, and it seems they're just going to have to try again.
You know, the oils was still burning there for a lot longer than you'd expect, given the ultimate barrage we saw from Godhand, but it was just too much Devil Dukes there. Abraxas made a big play, negating all of Orsted's Death Blossom, and right now it's a tough spot for Godhand. They got to really push in here with absolutely no ultimates to their favor.
We see them immediately moving back. Frozen gets picked off very early. That bomb splitting up the rest of Godhand, and it finds 2! That's both for the support line. That's what you needed. They have no ultimates to bring this back, besides from the shatter that Andy just has to drop. What a shatter, Andy. But it's a little bit too late as well. You only have 3 people left. Even with that remake and the Doomfist coming out, guess who has the Blizzard? Cammy Cam, who drops it down. Now you're on the casting couch because you just have to be going asleep. As you're not gonna have too much. The rest of the team, the Lucio, the Diva, well, they just get taken out, and it seems that's gonna be a really nice hold.
That was a good hold from Devil Dukes there. It's an achievable defense for Godhand, but Devil Dukes did exactly what they needed to do after dropping that point late, the point A late. They really answered the call there and defended a pretty darn defendable spot here, a pretty darn easy to get to spot here on the streets. But anything can happen. We've seen Devil Dukes. We've seen, Godhand rise to the occasion here after going down early in tough maps. We saw that in Lijiang. So you can't count out Godhand here, but I was really impressed just with the ability of Godhand to keep their heads about them. The ability of, Devil Dukes, wow, to be able to keep their head about them despite going down early in almost every single engagement. They still manage to find ways to turn it around, and that's just absolutely commendable team play. Obviously, their scrims have been working really well for them. They've been playing fantastic Overwatch.
Somebody's talking about me right now. I can feel my nostrils. I've got to sneeze. Oh, no. But it's been a pretty good brawl. I think the biggest part for Godhand that hasn't been working too well is the idea of not running the Mei. I think the Mei Cam has just been so good. Now, mind you, Cam was on support last, Lijiang Tower.
Cam was on, we're seeing the flex god Cam, as has been called by Navino. Cam All-Star on support. I know I brought up Navino's name. Navino Stinky Vino.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have brought that up. I'm sorry, that's my own fault. But here we go. The Reinhardt duel is on.
Oh, that's pretty stinky too, or more or less nasty, as Andy's gonna be caught out due to Blizzard Dog going in, trying to make some type of change with the pick, but gets forced out. Now those stuck inside the cafe are making the rotation to the shrine, but are being caught. It's a little bit of too much damage. Well, not a little bit, just a lot. Though they are going to be having a little bit more sustainability. Their hold has to be in Streets phase, and at least that helps you with the Doomfist.
Streets, let's just take to the streets if you're Godhand. That was not the hold that you wanted on point A. Losing, with basically less than a minute taken off the clock. 5 minutes and 40 seconds now to push for Devil Dukes. It's gonna be real tough for Godhand here. I think Devil Dukes positioned themselves well to go up 2-1 in this match.
They have so much room to break through. Though that Doomfist is able to get a good slam, you just get clipped out of the air. Now your tank line, well, they're caught off guard. You have help Cam build up the Blizzard, and you have nothing to eat it. Combined with that shatter from Billy has just absolutely destroyed my mind that I just could not comprehend it.
It's just an absolute domination right now from Devil Dukes. They're in such complete control of the pacing right now. Yeah, they have complete control over the momentum of this map. Godhand is desperate right now as Mammoth Man switches over to the Wrecking Ball. They can't even stay on the point.
Godhand! You almost had it. You almost had the touch. But it just seems that Devil Dukes, well, they have a lot more fire within them. They are looking a lot more feisty, and they are looking to execute a lot more when it comes down to this push. Though poor chat having to see the green skin out. Apologies. We'll have to talk to Billy about that. Just rocking the wrong Dallas skin. Either way,
The wrong
that
Texas
was
skin.
yeah. Either way, that was a really impressive start. If this was a best of 3, it would already be at match point. But well, it's first to 4,
Yeah.
and
We got a
Devil Duke
long
seemed to be at the lead.
we got a long night ahead of us here. A long night ahead of us. Do have a couple updates though. Flashback's now up 3-0 against Frost Nova, looking to
Nice.
sweep their way into the finals here. Again, still watching as well that other Harmony tier match, Chrysalis versus Koala Kings. They're tied up right now on Volskaya, with Chrysalis about to start their second attack with no time on the clock now for Koala Kings. So Chrysalis with an opportunity to tie that match up here. We'll see if they're able to do it. And we do see now that Reckless Alpha is up 2-1 on the Underdog Battalion roster, as looks like Reckless Alpha looking to punch their ticket here to the finals. But Battalion has already shown some weakness in the armor of Reckless Alpha, which we have not seen yet all season long.
Yeah.
Cannot be said that enough. But it's been a fantastic match over there, and it's been a fantastic match here. We are in for a long match tonight.
Yep, we are going to be going over to a pause, so please stay tuned because this match has been anything less than exciting. We'll be right back after this quick halftime.
You say anything?
Hello, everybody. Hope you had a very nice break. We definitely had one where we got to sit down, talk a little bit about the personal life, kind of get a feeling what's going on, and then remember, like, oh snap, this game is absolutely intense. I think we just had to cool ourselves down for a little bit because, well, Devil Dukes, while they are leading in the series 2-1 against God's Hand, God's Hand has not been making it easy at all. Though King's Row may tell a different story, I'm more interested in the plot line of how well Devil Dukes have been working as a team, and I think God Hand were a little bit more uncomfortable. So when going into a map like Route 66, I wonder how much that's going to change.
You know, Route 66, I definitely love the choice here from Godhand. Again, it really puts the emphasis on the fantastic DPS play from Dog and from Orsted that we've seen all night tonight. You know, Dog and Orsted getting a little coaching from Rocket. We all know who Rocket is, Tranquility Hall of Famer, member of Wisp, and one of the up-and-coming stars of Overwatch, no question about it. You know, it's definitely a big boon to that team overall. But Godhand right now is playing from behind. They are not exactly in a great situation. Route 66 is a great way to mix it up, though. But we do have a couple of score updates just to get those out the door here. We have a Reckless Alpha now up 3-1 over Battalion. They are looking to close it out right now on Busan. We're looking at, again, Koala Kings versus Chrysalis. That is 1-1 in the Harmony tier. Koala Kings, though, just did a massive, quick, full pull on Kings Row, and they're sitting with 3 minutes and 51 seconds on that clock on offense. And looks like Chrysalis is struggling right now on point A. So that one is a tough one for Chrysalis as we speak. If we're looking at the flashbacks match against Frost Nova, it's all flashbacks. It's all flashbacks. 3-0 still against Frost Nova, and Reminiscence up now 3-0 over Domination. The Nostalgia org is holding their own right now, looking like they will be sending both of those teams to the finals. But that being said, we talked a lot about Nostalgia org. How about Marsupial org with a chance to send all 3 of their teams to the finals? And I mean, right now, Devil Duke's in control here. Koala King's in control in their match. Quokka Queen's taking on Paradise Lost right now. That'll air tomorrow on this very channel. All 3 of those teams are in pole position right now to book the trip to the finals and make it an all marsupials all week next week.
Man, you know, no bias in here, but knew it. You know, don't worry about my jacket.
Never a doubt. Here we go, though. This match is going to be starting off with double shield from Godhand on offense. Unexpected.
A little bit more interesting. This dive is gonna have a little bit more of a struggle when it comes to just moving in. Billy is being that front line. Unfortunately, though, Kiefer is not gonna be able to do anything. Frozen is at least going to find that trade, as Billy, being a very good front line, playing passive, being able to walk around the payload, has to jump back on top of the cafe just to have a little bit more security. But even then, it's still not working out too well. Billy's going down dangerously low, has to rotate back as the double shield is going on top of the high ground. A beautiful stun, and it seems Billy's just not going to be able to escape. They're having so much they're having a lot of issues when it comes down to finding anyone to focus. Cam does build up the nano, uses it on Kiefer, wants to find this Sigma, just barely going to be able to survive due to the immortality and the rest of the shield just coming in to be able to protect you. It's a little bit more unfortunate. We see Devil Dukes investing everything that they have in their pockets, but they aren't going to be able to do anything as we see them slowly fall down, even Billy in the end. Well, Godhand's going to make sure they bring this closer.
Godhand did a fantastic job there, and now they'll be moving to the next point with 5 of their 6 ultimates unlocked. Gotta love it right now for Godhand. That's exactly what they needed. Come out strong, come out, make a statement saying this match is not over. We are most certainly still in this one.
As they move out, we see the visor being an amazing usage, just to find out too, though it seems Kiefer is able to at least get the little sticks and kill off because of it. They are still at a massive disadvantage, needing to come back as a unit. Already this fight coming in as the pulse bombs looking out to find anybody, though it is more of just a threat in poke as Billy struggling to stay alive. Mammoth is going to be the one who falls down as Frozen places down the pulse bomb. They are now at a big disadvantage. Without that second shield, they are looking to retreat. They do have the hole in using the Primal Rage. Billy wants to just solidify onto Ice, is being truly rude, and even gets the Primal a bit onto Cube.
Great mechanics there from Billy Got, but I will say that I do feel like it was unnecessary because they had that point, they had that fight won, they forced them back. I feel like if you're trying to get a stagger, maybe, but is it worth 10 seconds to burn an ultimate here that you could use to stabilize this point? I don't know about that play from Billy Got. It was a good mechanics, but maybe not the execution. And you really gotta think that he wishes they wish they had that primal rage there, because they really could have used it there.
I absolutely agree. Kiefer does have the copy, so it's looking to be that replacement on the main tank side. And that bomb goes so far out. The immortality is enough to save them, but it does not save the support line as we see them slowly fall down. The visor wants to make that difference, but it's not having anybody to really melt down on. Eventually, we see Frozen goes into the backline, has been an amazing cleanup person as they move out, playing that Tracer to the degree, though Cam is investing a lot using that nano. At least Kiefer is able to help out.
You know, that a lot of ultimates there were invested by Devil Dukes, and look over at Godhand right now. That's a lot of check marks. That's a lot of check marks. And if you're Godhand, you got to say, all right, you know, they won that one, but at what cost? You know, Godhand's got to love the spot they're in right now. They got 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, a huge ultimate advantage, and Orsted is hungry, and they really, really need to put a pulse bomb on somebody right now.
Yeah, the double shield does have enough room to start taking these angles and find anybody that they want. The Gravitic Flux is comboed with the Hull. It doesn't find too much, but luckily enough, Billy was all that they really needed. That's all that you want. That Pulse Bomb lands down. It's gonna manage to find out both the support line. That's a 2K and well needed. As we see the double shield, they're basically gonna be able to capture this point relatively uncontested. I don't think Frozen really wants to try that.
No, I don't think Frozen wants to mess around with that. Not maybe the play you want to make. But again, Godhand, like I said, they had them right where they wanted them, and it paid off. You know, the ultimate advantage they held, they did a fantastic job. They didn't even burn all the ultimates. And now they come back into the next fight with 3 again. And that's fantastic. And Godhand right now is in a good position. Devil Duke's sitting on a couple themselves here, including that nano boost. If they put that nano boost onto Kiefer, pardon me, that could make a big play here, or even onto Abraxas as well.
It's quite interesting just to see the Wrecking Ball come in, trying to make a difference, especially against Cube, who's using the rally. Well, you're not going to have too much follow-up for it. So, Godhand, they're feeling pretty proud, even placing the Gladiator spray just to mock NPC in the chat. They having more than enough room to walk in, while Devil Dukes are struggling to find too much. They do have the copy as Kiefer is getting onto the Sigma, isn't able to cancel Cassidy's High Noon, but it seems they are going to be able to dive and kill the moment those shots are fired. Now with the Gravitic Flux being used from Kiefer, they're finding a good majority. The rock misses, slams down, brings everyone to have help, but it seems Ostrich is going to be able to find out Frozen, wrong name, but still right character, as Kiefer's going to find the Tracer. Billy going in for the slam, looking to just disorient them. The double shield needs to use that bongo just to make some form of a difference, but Abraxas does have the bomb. Throwing in, the shield is there, places it, breaks it through. They find it out while the mines are split in between. This is really uncomfortable. They walk in.
Oh, Mammoth Man.
Flux. That's just a little bit of bad timing as we see Godhand losing that fight.
You know, Godhand got a little bit greedy there. Devil Dukes got greedy at the start, but Godhand kind of overstayed their welcome a little bit. Pushed in a little bit too hard, but really good play from Devil Dukes there to solidify and hold here. Minute 38 seconds left. Still a good amount of time here. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see a change in the composition from Godhand. I was expecting them to maybe flip over to some, you know, Reinhardt can be very good on point 3 here, but they stick to the Orisa, and Andy has been a very solid Orisa so far, though.
Yeah, already putting in a considerable amount of damage as this fight slowly goes in. Abraxas is already taking a lot of damage as Billy gets stunned, gets hit, and gets taken out. Though Frozen gets the nano, you don't have the Wraith to disengage, so you slowly just crumble. With Abraxas following suit, this is not looking good for the rest of Devil Dukes. To sleep onto Doug is more of just kind of stopping them from being able to move out. It's still not the biggest thing that you have, but at least should give Billy enough room to come back. The High Noon combined with the Rallying Bomb is enough just to force Kiefer onto the copy. It's a little bit more annoying, but they're planning to melt it down. Cam's not going to be there to heal. The bomb gets placed in the middle, looking to find much, but it just seems the double shield is playing perfectly. Rotating around, breaks the copy. Now Frozen is the only one with an ultimate to bring it back. Manages to find out too. My goodness, you just let that fall out. Poor Brig couldn't stop it, and yet Godhand have more than enough to bring it back into their factor. Billy is, well, the last person who has a good way to contest is gonna leave him out to die, and it seems they just barely get that touch, but still, Godhand have more people onto the point. Ice is looking pretty clean, cold in the wrist. The Doomfist comes out, Immortality peels the bomb, finding out too. Abraxas throws out one of their own, looking to find out much, but the Immortality is gonna be able to peel in. Q looking to do as much as they can with this rally to be able to have that long-term sustainability, but not too much. The focus fire is absolutely insane as Billy places down the mines. The Orisa using the window to the finest degree. Kiefer falling down, frozen, not going to be living for too long. And Abraxas, you poor fool, you're no monkey. You're going back to the cage as we see Godhand. They managed to cap all 3 points in overtime.
You know, that was a great offense there from Godhand. The switch over to the Orisa, I think, was a big thing for them. It became so hard for the DPS and Billy God to really displace them, and it was just a consistent slow grind for Godhand to just push through. And it wasn't flashy, it wasn't pretty, but it gets the job done, and that's really what Double Shield is in the end.
Yeah, honestly, it was just from the fact that they stayed as a unit, they worked as a team. The Double Shield it's just so good, you know, honestly.
It really is. It's really a fantastic thing there. The Double Shield is absolutely fantastic, no question about it. But it's also really, you know, from a viewership perspective, it's not the most fun thing. You know, it's not the greatest thing to watch in the world, but it's effective. You can't argue with the effectiveness of it here, and they're going back to it again. And they put Dog onto the Ashe. Now we've seen Dog. Dog is, by the way, a 2-time winner of the Widow 1v1s, and you know, Orsted also a former winner of that. On another note, man, the hit scan prowess on this team is crazy. But Dog now on the Ashe, so we've seen how good of a sniper Dog can be, and this could be a big trouble spot here now for Devil Dukes.
I don't know. I have to beg to differ. They've seen how this Double Shield works, and, well, I think they're going to be playing around it. Frozen misses out the chance to hack, so, you know, at least you can be feeling a little bit proud on that for Mammoth. But this is basically going to be a slow, neutral push. As that payload slowly goes out, the Double Shield wants to do their best to find any form of damage, but they are terrified of Billy diving in, especially when Kiefer finds out your Tracer. You have nobody damaging the back line, so you have to just move out. You have to protect your own team at this very moment. They're pushing this payload relatively freely as Frozen's just not getting too much damage in onto the hacks, and Abraxas gets a little bit found out, a little bit too close in. Billy does go in, trying to help in for as much as they can, but honestly, this is not looking in the favor of Devil Dukes until the Brig bashes off the high ground, is eventually going to be taken out, but they've lost the main thing. Don't know how well Devil Dukes are going to be feeling about this. They still want to take this fight for as long as possible, seeing if they can get anyone, but God's Hand are looking a little bit better as they clean things out. Cam does get the trade onto Mammoth, but it's a little bit too late for that.
How many times have we seen fights turned not because of Ice's ability to support, which Ice is a fantastic with those heal grenades, but just the DPS that Ice has been able to put out here on that Baptiste. Ice is putting out a ton of damage, getting killing blows consistently, and really just turning fights around at times when they appear to be lost for Godhand. And it's consistent, you know, Ice, former MVP in his own right. You put the amplification matrix in, and we're going to see more damage. That's what a stick. What a stick.
Yeah, now they're at a big damage. They got hit with that dynamite, and they're not getting too much healing. Honestly, Ice has just been doing so much for this team, and it seems that Godhand, they're feeling grateful for it as, well, they clean up the rest of this push.
Really, just and that's the benefit of Double Shield here. You can hang back, use your poke, and then once you get the picks, then suddenly you push into them and you press your advantage. And Godhand played that perfectly. They played back, waited for the opening, waited for the opportunity, but now Frozen, speaking of playing for an opportunity, sitting on an EMP here. They're really close to a Death Blossom as well. This is a good position for Devil Dukes, looking to EMP out this double shield composition.
Look at that. Manages to find those you were really hoping for, but Andy gets the bongo out in the meantime. So it's a little bit here and there. While the Gravitic Flux slams down, the Sound Barrier is going to peel and protect them for a little bit longer. Mammoth is going to get hacked onto the drop down while the Death Blossom is practically free. Gets to the Bob. Looking to do the best, but honestly, it just feels more like Devil Dukes are playing the 7-man, always able to bring it back with their ult combinations.
Yeah, that was a good job there from Devil Dukes. Played off that EMP very nicely. You know, Godhand did a good job of not allowing their whole team to get hit by that. They managed to get the bongos out from Andy on the Orisa, but it didn't really end up mattering that much. Zuby on the Brigida just got a little bit carried away and tried to salvage it, but just could not. And they paid the price overall. But here we go again. Devil Dukes now 3 minutes on the clock, trying to push through the streets phase here.
Oh man, they're at least having some issues when it comes down to breaking it, but at least they forced Dog onto the Cassidy, which it still doesn't feel too much like a bright side. Braxis is already going down dangerously low because of Vice's own window, so they have to leave that payload. I don't know exactly if they're planning to... No, yeah, they go for the counter rotation, and it seems that Kiefer didn't really get the memo. Dies, so not really going to be going with the team. At least Frozen's coming close to that EMP, wants to do their best to escape. Pulse Bomb misses, and they're at least getting that peel. The double shield finds out Cam, so that's the benefit you're looking for. There's not much Devil Dukes can do besides from try to even it out by getting another pick, but they're going to save their ultimates.
You know, Devil Dukes did the right thing there, peeling back, hanging on to that EMP. They'll be coming back here with 2 strong ultimates. EMP and Coalescence will be very good to just solidify point B here. For Godhand, you're sitting on those bongos right now. Right now, for Godhand, it's okay. They just want to keep stalling it out. If they can stall out and take as much time off the clock here as they can here, get it down to below 30 seconds before point B, they'll consider that a win.
The EMP combined with the jump was an absolute beautiful dive as we see them move forward. I gotta agree. It's the way that dive works, and it works to that degree, but they had to use 2 ultimates, which has basically been the main win condition. And, well, look at this. The Tracer's able to stall for a little bit longer. Combined with the Diva, though this is a big stagger, I think this is more of a benefit.
It's absolutely a benefit. It's going to give Godhand a chance to fully come back to 6, and that's actually... normally in this situation here, when you finish them off at this point, it's really hard to get a recontest in, and it still is going to be a challenge to push through that door here. But it looks like Godhand intelligently is rotating through underneath, and that is actually exactly what you want to do. We see Mammoth Man is baiting out the high ground, and Dog capitalizes on it, finding Cam. Fantastic work there.
How could you do this to us, Cam? Now Kiefer has to use his Death Blossom as a way to bring back this fight. You've already lost 2, but maybe Devil Dukes really don't want this. Abraxas is just trying to escape, but just like Stuart Little, they're not going to be giving any respect. The bomb is used, though, just to be able to come back. So, I can understand that. You now have an immediate recontest. It's 30 seconds left on the clock, and, well, you have to make something work out of this. You're not really getting too much out of just this slow engagement, so at least Devil Dukes are coming close to the EMP, but the Blossom is what they're preferring to use in this push. The rest of God's Hand, though, playing back. They get that beautiful combo! Billy's gonna fall down. Sound Barrier not out fast enough to peel in for the rest of the team, as they've already lost 2, though we see them putting some pressure onto Mammoth. Mammoth is perfectly fine. The Blossom gets used. They're managing to peel perfectly. Really good job of Braxis. They managed to help Kiefer health to solidify that second pick, and you come in trying to get that kill onto the Baby Diva. But it's just not enough. So at least you can kill them, D-Mac, and have more of a chance to capture this onto the 3rd, but it's been getting harder and harder. I don't know about their chances getting this next point.
Devil Dukes did what they had to do. They come back with good ultimate advantage, but if you take a look at Godhand, you gotta like what their position is as well. They're down to about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Frozen's EMP, it's everything right now. If Frozen can get a big EMP off, this is just gonna be done. Godhand, let's see how forward they play here. They're playing really far back to start, and if they continue to play this far back, they might give up too much cart progression here. They really have 2 fights. You got to figure they got to win one of these 2 fights, while Godhand or Devil Dukes has to sweep it. And here we go right now. The EMP has to be massive.
Frozen already set up to use it, places it, and managed to find out too. It's not the biggest, but it's what you needed at least. The rally's still more than enough as the Primal Rage combines the bomb, and that has been the usage that they have been solidifying throughout the entire series. I just feel bad for Dog, who is still being staggered. Nope, manages to escape. God bless you.
You know, I have to say, it was a good fight there for Devil Dukes, but they're coming back now with just a Death Blossom. If Mammoth Man comes up big here and is able to matrix out this Death Blossom, or is able to counter out this Death Blossom, God Hand's in a great position here with 3 ultimates. And there's exactly as I called it there. Great play for Mammoth Man.
If it wasn't for the immortality, that high noon would have been canceled. So big play coming out from God Hand, forcing this now into overtime against, well, around a 4v6. This is not looking good for Devil Dukes. They have the touch, but at what cost? You've lost the fight, and it just seems we're going to be tying up this series. A map 7, this is looking like it could go the distance, especially with Devil Dukes still trying to touch. Hewart not getting the notice on how Lucio works, not going to be having too much, and, well, they're going to be falling out, though they're still touching. I'm going to give them that credit. They really want to hold this out, even if that Pulse Bomb misses, they still die. Abraxas comes in looking, just saying, dude, why can't we win this out? We don't have a team. Well, that's going to be the reason, and it seems 2-2 series right now. God's Hand making sure that Devil Dukes don't win in a very extreme series.
Well, yeah, like we said, we got a close one on our hands here. God Hand turning it around after a good halftime. 2-2 now. We're going now to a best of 3 series at this point, and well, we got a lot of Overwatch still ahead of us tonight, guys. A lot of Overwatch.
I gotta say that I'm not too fairly surprised about what happened. I think this just came down to Devil Dukes feeling a little bit more uncomfortable when it came down to diving. They also very heavily relied onto that Death Blossom, which I think is by far in this elo the easiest ult to counter out. There's very little that you can do besides from body block and just break immortality early. It just was not working in their favor. But hey, look on the bright side, we've gone through 2CP, Hybrid, we've gone through Escort, so where does that bring us back to? Right to Control, and that's going to be Busan as our next map of opportunity. Though God Hand, they were the ones who won a Control initially. I feel this is more of a brawl map.
You know, I feel like it can favor what Devil Dukes have been bringing to the table, but you got to give it to God Hand. They have answered the bell here and really come back strong, as I'm dealing with some really distracting chroma key issues right here, which is very confusing.
I like the fade up.
Yeah, let's just go to the scoreboard screen. But really quick, guys, just some updates for you. No big deal about it. Don't worry about it too much. Just a couple updates here regarding other series that are ongoing. Harmony tier, we have our first finalist, and it's nostalgia. It's Flashbacks winning 4-0 over Frost Nova. So Flashbacks punching their ticket to the finals. The other Harmony tier semifinal right now, Koala Kings taking on Chrysalis. Koala Kings up 2-1. They're on Watch Point Gibraltar right now. Then if we go over to the Discord tier, again, Quaka Queen's Paradise Lost, that will be airing tomorrow on this channel. Don't want to miss that. But their opponent has been determined, and it's Reminiscence on a 4-0 sweep of domination to book their ticket into the finals for Discord tier. So you gotta love this spot if you're nostalgia or coming out with 2 sweeps going into the finals.
Honestly,
that's a real statement right there.
It really is.
Now in Transcendence tier, the opponent for the winner of this match has also been determined, and that is going to be Alpha. Reckless Alpha finishes off Battalion 4-1 on a great match. Battalion really put up a fight. I had the stream up on the side here, and it looked like, just from the little bits that I did catch, Battalion really pushed Alpha to their limit tonight, and even took Alpha a map off of Alpha for the first time all season. So for the upstart underdog team that Battalion was going into this match, a team who won only one match all of stage one, won only one match, or I'm sorry, yeah, won only two matches in stage two, coming into the playoffs, running the table to get to the semifinals. You got to give it to Battalion on a fantastic run, and there's nothing to be ashamed about for that team at all.
I definitely gotta agree. Honestly, how does Tranquility continue to get these teams who perform so well and have such good storylines? Though I will at least have to say, I feel Battalion, they have like a certain amount of reverse sweeps they're legally allowed to get in Tranquility, and once they go over that limit, they have to stop. You know, no comeback potential anymore. But they still looked very good throughout the season, so as much as they're going home, definitely hope they come back. We are getting set up when it comes to this, but I'm more interested to see how this is going to work. There's not any switches, and I think Godhand are benefiting from the fact that they've been running out with this lineup, while Devil Dukes, they have the ability to switch Cam out for the Mei, and, you know, I think it's more rude that you have a single player for Mei Jail when they're a support, when they're playing as support. It's unfair. But Busan as a map, I don't really know who can say has the feature. We've seen so many compositions played out tonight that I think it's more of a flip of the coin of, do we get mecha bass in downtown, or, you know, do we get the drum?
Here's who it favors. It favors us. It favors the viewers.
Wow.
It's just, I know, deep, right? But it favors the viewers because we get the privilege of enjoying it. And that is exactly what we're going to be seeing here. The teams prepare to go to battle yet again here. This is, in my opinion, probably the most critical map of the night. Map 5, you know, it can really be the absolute momentum builder for GDH. If they go take this map, that's 2 maps taken in a row for them. For Devil Dukes, it puts you completely on the ropes. Then you drop 2 in a row to a team you had an advantage on 2-1. You know, Devil Dukes come back out and they win this one. They only have to win one more map, and well, one of those, you gotta like their spot here. You gotta really like those opportunities for Devil Dukes here. This could go either way, guys. It's such a good match, and I'm just enjoying the opportunity to cast it.
I have to agree, and if you guys are very much enjoying it and you want to show that support, just want to give a small reminder to hit that little follow button. You can hit that bell to get notifications for continuing matches, and you know, there is I do believe that sale actually just ended or so, but hey, you can still hit that Twitch sub. It means absolutely a lot, and everything goes back into promoting in the streams. So as we move in, this is going to be an interesting brawl, as Kiefer is on to the Doomfist, meaning they have that one-shot potential. It's going to be harder for Cassidy and Soldier 76 to comparably go up against it, but, well, Cam's on to the Moira, so it's more healing but less survivability. They are already struggling, as Billy and Frozen are taking a lot of poke damage considerably. That punch goes out, and he's able to live due to the immortality, and we see the rest of Devil Dukes playing more back. Whoever's going to be able to live for a little bit longer, but with this punch being the engager, it seems it misses out. Kiefer's now in the worst position possible, has to disengage from the fight, and Frozen's able to clean up, get the massive pick onto the Baptista support line, falling down for God's hand. I feel so bad for them, as Frozen just makes sure to redeem themselves off of the Death Blossom previously.
You know, Godhand did a great job there initially with a great rotation out from Dog to get out on the flank. We see Dog is already very close to that tactical visor because of that, but it was very good tactical aggression that managed to secure that fight for Devil Dukes. They pushed in, they found Ice on that Baptiste. Ice has been pumping out so much healing tonight, really leading that team so far, but what a great matrix there and a great kill on the Billy God.
Kiefer is still very much alive, meaning that they still have that threat being there of the Doomfist one punch, so we're not seeing them really do too much. We see Kiefer move into this fight, the rest of God's Hand having to peel back. Poor Andy, just not going to be able to live, and
wow.
Kiefer styling a little bit. I absolutely love Doomfist. A very easy hero to punish, but a very easy hero to skill on.
You really got it. I'm impressed. I am completely impressed here with Kiefer. Doomfist, like you said, is so easily punishable, but they're playing it effectively. They kind of capitalized on the fact that, well, Godhand didn't really come out with a comp that was ready to handle a Doomfist. We see Deadeye now from Orsted being sped around by Zuby, and there's the kill onto Billy God, really opening it up, and finally some positive momentum for GDH.
They just use that sound barrier as the condition to, oh, what a beautiful hammer as well. And it just seemed that Double Dukes weren't able to keep up with the momentum, but they still have a pretty decent ult economy. No matter where they go, I think this is going to still be in their favor, especially with Kiefer as the engager. It seems that they want to kind of juke a little bit onto main. Looking out for the punch as the engagement gets a nice one, but the Shatter's going to be hitting the shield as Andy does something similar. It seems Kiefer's able to get the 2K with the slam. They weren't prepared for it, and they weren't prepared for Double Dukes to come in with a vengeance. Poor dog, just dying on that point.
Kiefer came up big again on the Doomfist. Kiefer is putting on a clinic right now. We've seen how effective a Doomfist at these high elos can be. They can just absolutely control a match, and we're seeing Kiefer right now in complete control of God Hand here. Really, the hand of God is on his fist right now, and Kiefer is definitely in control here. And look, they're going in the backline again. They're trying to find ice again. The question is will they find ice again? Almost. They almost did.
Almost, but they had to use that immortality, by far the biggest utility in their team. They are playing more onto the high ground while they wait for Cassidy to build up on the high noon, but it's at 99%, meaning they have to touch. They're able to find out Cam, and, well, the rest of the team slowly collapsing as the pillars slowly go down onto Mecha Base. Double Duke's getting punished for just either playing a little bit too passive or not respecting the fact that they were prepared.
You know, Godhand right now doing a fantastic job of pushing onto Devil Dukes, keeping them under control in that situation there. You know, all it took was just withstanding and absorbing Kiefer. Once they withstood that dive from Kiefer, then they could just kind of push slowly in through Devil Dukes. It's a lot slower of a style of play, but it paid off for them. And Kiefer finds a massive punch on the face again.
Just letting it happen every time. The Shatter counterbalanced the sound barrier. Billy, no! Falling off the map.
No.
At least the rest of the team.
Yes, Billy.
At least the rest of the team is going to clean up on their mistakes. At 99%, Mammoth is by far one of the only people who's going to have this long-term stall because Lucio touches and then gets hit by the bomb. The window does help. Ice is able to take out Abraxas as they try to just remech, and it seems that they are slowly collapsing on both sides. The bomb being placed with Billy returning onto the point. They have that shield as Andy is onto the wrecking ball, meaning they don't really have too much. Kiefer wants to look for any type of punch, misses it out. It's up to Frozen to be that DPS king as they've always shown to be. Looking onto Lucio as Billy comes in, says mine, and steals it outright. The sound barrier from Q-Warp. It's just icing on the cake, solidifying the ability to have this point. As much as they want to hold it, Andy, you know, there's no point Andy, as you almost see 9 that getting off for just a split second, and the Tracer hoping to do it. What a fire strike, my goodness. And it seems that Devil Dukes, they're gonna solidify capturing the point, but we saw how this happened on Lijiang Tower.
That was such a great play there from that was such a great play there from Billy God. I love those little when you get those fire strikes that maybe you're not necessarily expecting to hit, but it's really cool when they do. That's the vibe I got there from that. And as a Reinhardt player, it makes it kind of warms warms you up a little bit. But you know, we saw this on map 1 as well. Godhand fell behind on point 1. They lost it, and then they won the next 2. So Devil Dukes get the huge advantage early on here. We talked about how critical map 5 can be. And honestly, Devil Dukes, they did a lot to convince me that this map is going to be theirs. And we see them coming out on 6th man. They've been dominant on that. But the last time they ran this up against the Orisa Diva, they were not able to punch through it. And here we go again with the Orisa Diva. So we'll see if it pays off for Godhand.
The Torbjorn bunker, you know, not something I at least woke up to see going up against this double shield. As much as it looks nice, it's having a lot of issues being able to break through. Luckily, with this point being unlocked, they're able to find that space, melt down Billy, and walk on to the point. Poor Abraxas not having enough healing in the game to save their life. You know, at first I was going to be worried for them moving into the Shadow Dive, but it seemed to not even matter.
It did seem to not even matter there at all. That was really good job from Godhand, and Orsted and Dog just Yeah, or I mean, Orsted found so much value on the Cassidy there. They're so close to a Deadeye already, and that tells you about the power that they brought to the table there. You know, Dog again. We've seen them on this Torbjorn do a really good job at neutralizing Frozen on this Sombra, and here they go again. They're already in a position right now to where they can stop these actions. They're just mirroring. They've done such a good job of adjusting to Frozen.
Yeah, I agree. That flashbang also was an absolute aimbot. So disgusting in the way it lands. They get that DMAC onto Abraxas. Though the Coalescence giving them a lot of space, the high noon is still there, meaning that, well, you're not going to be able to peek it as much as you want. You get the point capture, but the flashbang and the bongo, that may be a 6.
A wasted
EMP.
6. Oh, no.
But it is very much, you are 100% right, it is a waste as they're not going to be able to follow up. They just try to stall.
And that's such a shame. You hate to see a 6-player EMP completely wasted like that if you're Devil Dukes. It's unfortunate. Now you're sitting in a situation where Godhand is halfway through the point cap that they need, and Frozen is going to have to rebuild another EMP, and it's going to be tough to build one in time to be consequential here.
What a boop, though. Finding out Ace, throwing them onto the subway. It's a little bit more rude as they find out their targets. The double shield now slowly collapsing, though breaking out of Brax's shield is a big benefit. The dive is focusing down. You don't have any long-term healing, and it seems the Orisa is going back to their maker. I don't remember the name, so I tried to come up with it last second. Don't even worry about it. They aren't going to do too much.
It's all good. It's all good. I completely forgot as well. Overwatch lore? What?
Question mark?
Yeah, question mark? Overwatch lore? Yeah. Okay, it's Effie. It's Effie. No, it's Effie's. No. It's Evie? Effie?
Well, it's a Death Blossom getting prepared
Death
for
Blossom.
this.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's a Death Blossom getting prepared up. Mammoth does an amazing job of forcing them off the high ground, and they use the rally as kind of a pseudo speed boost, though they have to be a little bit more worried. The ultimates are equal on both sides when it comes to the usage. Cam using the Coalescence as the monkey go, but the EMP immediately cleans it up. I can't get any more hype when it comes down to the 3K, and it basically saves this entire bush. Devil Dukes more looking to go back to where they came.
Mammoth Man has been just, well, I guess Mammoth, for GDH all night. The Diva Bombs have been absolutely stellar. And despite having another beautiful 6-player EMP, Frozen just, it's completely wasted because of an amazing Diva Bomb. And again, amazing play for Mammoth Man so far tonight.
Definitely agree. Forcing this at 99. The Moen Core counterbalance that Death Blossom as it gets an even trade, but the bongo's there, and it seems that God's hands are getting a lot more value being able to just stay on top of the high ground and punish the dive for moving and not respecting it. Though they're not able to get the remech kill against Abraxas as a little bit revenge, I am more proud to say that they have made sure that we may be getting a mirror onto Lijiang Tower.
Ooh, here we go again. Godhand now taking this point rather convincingly on this Orisa Diva comp. It's been working really well for them. They've been playing it beautifully, and I would like to see them to continue to do that here. You know, this map tends to go a lot more towards the Wrecking Ball or the 6-man, but I would love to see them continue to play this Orisa Diva comp because it's been working absolutely fantastically for them, and it really allows Dog and Orsted to play comfortably and really track Frozen, find a way to isolate him, find a way to isolate what Frozen's doing on this Sombra, because Frozen Sombra is probably the biggest threat on either team right now. And here we go again, point 3 of this very crucial map 5. This is a major turning point in this match.
We'll have to see how the double shield does well against the Shadow Dive when it comes to at least this point. I definitely feel it's going to be a lot stronger because these sight lines are so open, and Mammoth is the only one that they need to touch the point. So Billy has to come in as the giant monkey they are just to slow things down and stop that point from being opened. This is at least giving Cam a little bit more of ult charge, but look at this, the double shield, well, more of just the bunker moves out. Dog is able to get a long range when it comes, and they still have to worry worry about the headshot, so it's a lot of damage getting hit, and they don't really know what to do against it. They eventually move and placing down that bubble to split, but then the bunker moves a little bit more back, and they don't have a target to focus on as Kiefer wants to just do a little bit more damage. The Coalescence at least finally gives them that space that they've been looking for. Immortality peels in and protects, but they've lost out that Cassidy in a 5v6, losing out the Max Pseudo 4v6 as that Orisa only has so much left, and it seems that the survivability and the fact the bunker weren't able to kill make sure that Devil Dukes have a chance.
Yeah, despite multiple times where Devil Dukes was brought very low, they bided their time. They waited for Cam to build up that Coalescence. It's exactly the way you play this point. You wait to build up a huge momentum ultimate like Coalescence. If you look, Cam's already up to 60% again. Cam will have the Coalescence before the next fight. That's huge. And if you pair that with the other, 5 ultimates your team has, you're in a pretty good position right now if you're Devil Dukes.
I definitely agree. The only problem is that Billy took a lot of damage, but the EMP at least makes you feel a little bit fine. Yeah, it does only fine 2, but the sound barrier at least comes to mirror it up. They're not really noticing Kiefer inside the back line and takes out that Torbjorn. You're not going to be going to your wife or kids anytime soon as Kiefer has to raid back from the team. But Bongo extended, pumps in that damage with this Coalescence. Cam's builds really fast once again. They're already set themselves up, being able to find out that 2K combined with the bomb just for the remake. Devil Dukes, my goodness, they're playing at a new speed.
But Devil Dukes used everything there. They used everything. And normally I'd be like, wow, what a horrible decision that was made. But if you look at Godhand, they used everything too. So, coming back, Godhand has a rally. They're the only one with an ultimate. Rally is a good one to use here, but the momentum right now is all in Devil Duke's corner. And we'll see if they can continue to pressure this out. If Frozen gets a big hack here onto Zuby, that's going to be the end of this one.
The rally at least is a really nice engagement tool as they have a lot of security. Not too much that they have to worry about. Really nice pull coming in as we see Mammoth be able to boot them around. There's not too much that they have to be able to peel in for themselves on the side of Devil Dukes, though Cam is coming close to that Coalescence. Billy's going to be found out with the High Noon. Now the team is completely staggered. Frozen has the EMP. I don't think you use his EMP, especially losing out Kiefer. It seems that they read the mind. They know what I'm talking about, and they're just going to reset, come back in at 99%. Why are they still stalling? What the heck?
It's why not, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I will say that I do think Devil Dukes right now are in a firm control position here. They're going to come back with 3 ultimates, and Godhand, well, it's going to take basically a monumental effort here for them to be able to hold up here, especially with this EMP. Frozen is very hungry to use it, and
oh no, they're walking. They don't know, chat. They don't know.
No, they don't. I mean, they probably do know, but they just don't really have a way to stop it. And the EMP is positioned to be massive, and it is!
Look at that! Captures the entirety of the team aside from the Tracer, though Frozen is gone. The rest of the team follows closely after. Mammoth throws out the bomb, wanting to make a 3K from before, combined with the Bongo. It's just not enough. Devil Duke's entirely split and playing behind natural cover. They're perfectly fine. And poor Dog being chased out. I thought Winston and Tracer were friends, but it seems Billy has different lore answers. Now being at 99%, I don't really think there's anybody to touch besides from the Lucio. You've got the moves and it's Johnny Cruz's birthday, but honestly, you may be the fake. Immortality able to keep them up for a little bit longer as the High Noon split them up. The Blossom cleaning up those small little squishies. Poor young ones, they are not going to be able to do too much. Going back into the crib as the Tracer is going to lose the ability to jump through the timelines, and you're going to wish so, because this is now a match point as we see Devil Dukes take the victory.
Devil Dukes going up now 3-2 in this match. Very, very critical map win there for Devil Dukes. They needed to turn the corner here and come back with a strong map win. It plays into their favor right now, but they will be moving over to a map of Godhand's choosing next. Godhand gets the next map pick as we take a look at Mammoth Span. Crazy 3K at the end of that point. Or at the end of point B. That was a fantastic move for a fantastic ultimate there from Mammoth Man. But God, what a good match, guys. It's just, I really feel like despite everything right now, it could go either way at this point. It is far from over.
Man, I don't know if you've noticed, but the more this game has gone, the more my hair is rising because, you know, out of camera, I'm like pushing it back. I'm like, oh, you know, the forehead comes in. Don't show it. Don't Photoshop anything on it either. That's what I do. Either way, I definitely have to agree to your sentiment. God Hand have been bringing this back and forth, and I think there are a lot of shining points, but it's going down to team fundamentals rather than a kind of individual play. Like, yes, we can say Kiefer's been doing great, Mammoth has been insane, Andy has been continuously getting better as a main tank the more this series goes on, but I think it's the fact that they are working as a unit to make sure that they can kind of increasing their chances.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that here at all. Just a quick update for you guys on the one remaining match on the outside here in the Harmony Tier semifinals. Chrysalis and Koala Kings, they are 2-2 on Busan. Well, it just sounds familiar, doesn't it? Koala Kings taking on Chrysalis again, 2-2. They're on Busan. Neither side has taken a point yet, and that match is still ongoing. We'll continue to update throughout the night. Again, Paradise Lost versus Quokka Queens, that will be airing tomorrow on this channel. And I have to say, you know, user, you've been wearing the Marsupial Gaming shirt, and I respect that you're hyping up the org. I understand that's how you got in. You're tight with those guys. I get it. But I gotta say, if you want to show a little support for your favorite teams, your favorite orgs, there is no better time than now, because right now in the Tranquility store, that's !store in the chat, every shirt, every mug, every bag, every sticker is 15% off. So if you're looking to pick something up before the end of the season, this is your last chance before the season ends here to pick something up on a deal. Again, !store in the chat, shop.spreadshirt.com/OW Tranquility. Pick yourself up a shirt here, maybe a Devil Duke shirt, maybe a God Hand shirt, or maybe just Reckless Alpha because they've only lost one map this season. It'd be pretty cool to pick up a Reckless Alpha shirt. I think I might actually do that right
Yeah,
now.
like,
You know,
I've got mine.
Shirt.
Yeah, I've got mine. It's been staying in great condition, 100% vouch. I absolutely love the Tranquility store. It's really nice, it's affordable, and hey, it is so soft. I fall asleep in this sometimes, you know.
So
but I'm not.
very soft.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. But
It
and
really
there's
is.
yeah, there's so much more. I'm wondering, though, when at least it comes in chat, I want you guys to start talking about who you feel is going to be able to win this map out, because I wonder how many people are voting for God Hand, and then they lose it, and then God Hand immediately win the next map, and so they get back their points, and it's been kind of more of a mixed favor, I think, on both sides. I wonder whose economy has been falling down and who's been losing it more out. At least we can look to the future and say that Icon Vault is going to be our quite possible last map, though I wouldn't say so early, because God Hand, well, they've been looking really good on that double shield, and there is no better map than Icon Vault for it.
They really have, and Eichenwald's fantastic match here to get this one done. We do see that both teams right now chatting about college applications, which
No.
yeah, or college, you know, which, you know, I'm 30, I'm a 34-year-old college dropout, so, you know, I got that going for me.
I mean, I'm 19 and I'm not going to college, so hey,
So,
two sides of a coin. Yay!
Hey, go us. College is a scam, everybody. Wait, no, shoot. Shoot. Anyways,
collegiate team. Cut that out. Cut that out. I work with the collegiate team.
But if you don't spend your money on college, where you can spend your money is shop.spreadshirt.com/OW Tranquility, 50% off for the next few hours here.
Yeah, or you just hit that little sub button. It's absolutely phenomenal. You get access to a channel called I Hate Navino, and even if you don't know Navino, you should hate him, obviously.
Sure,
Either way, look at what's going on here. Let's focus a little bit more onto the defending side, because the attacking side, God Hand, are always going to be a little bit weird. How well do you feel on this Shadow Dive kind of defending?
You know, I'll be honest with you, I don't like the choice. I don't think it's the play. You know, it's their comfort. It's what a comp they're very comfortable on. But in general, I don't like the dive on defense on this first point. I don't like the dive on defense here on the first point. But that said, you know, we've seen them be so confident and comfortable on it. What it comes down to for me is how well does, or what is this? They have,
wait, no, they're,
what is,
no, they're scouting. They're scouting.
Oh, they're scouting here. Oh, is that a hog?
No, no,
At
they're
least-
scouting. They're
okay,
scouting.
all
They're
right.
they're messing with us.
Okay, they're just trolling the casters, which I respect. I respect the play. I do. I do. But here we go again, guys, right now, and I just don't know if double shield. I don't know if this is the play here. 6-man into this double shield that's been working so well, but here we go again.
It seems that they are at least being able to open up this bridge. Not too much to worry about as the moment the dive falls down, Billy doesn't have too much sustainability. The bubble at least protects them, helps, finds out Cassidy, and the hack onto the Reaper is more than enough to allow them to move in against that immortality and crush them out.
That was a very smooth engagement right there from Devil Dukes, and Abraxas gets credit for the 3K at the end there, but that was just a very smooth engagement. Great hack from Frozen as well, who nearly just escapes with the hair on their chin. It was a little bit scary if you're Devil Dukes, but at the same time, you gotta like the way that first fight went. They're close to an EMP as well. You could see an EMP in this first fight here.
Well, that was really close to punishing for Kiefer, though they are going to be able...
Here's the
Kiefer.
EMP.
So, yep, it comes in. They're still setting. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity to be able to use it, and it seems that they don't really need it. The double shield is... Well, the more bunker is still collapsing underneath themselves. They're not getting too much out of it, and it seems, well, they just have to reset losing their Orisa.
Yeah, I have to, I guess I'll eat the humble pie on this one. Devil Duke's doing an amazing job so far on this attack. I'm sorry, on this defense. It's exactly what they wanted to do, and GDH right now looking to build some ultimates and some momentum, but God Hand right now is behind in the ultimate race, and they're behind on this map. What an EMP.
What a massive EMP, managing to find out 4. Though it seems they're able to split themselves up, they don't save 2 people. The most important, the Baptiste and the Orisa. Billy is still in the backline. I don't think they've noticed the primaling monkey who is just juggling out your dog. And that's a sentence, if I've ever said one.
That is a sentence that I haven't heard before. Juggle God, juggling dogs, is that a thing? But anyways, I have to say that was a great fight there from Devil Dukes. But I'm sorry, God Hand right now. They're gonna have 5 ults basically coming back, but this has to be the fight here. They're not gonna have another opportunity like this.
Yep, Dog at least have the Death Blossom, and they're combining up with the High Noon to make that space up. The Sound Barrier at least is giving them that survivability, but they don't have it for this big upcoming moment as Kiefer has a mirror at least. It's going to be whoever hits Q is going to be having the most impact. That rally sustaining them for a little bit longer as Billy falls down very quickly. Now they've lost their monkey. They may lose out on this full hold with less than a minute. The bomb from Abraxas is giving a bit more space, but it was solely used for the remake. The MP managing to find out 5. Kiefer is not in position to use that Blossom. That's the unfortunate part, but they don't know, Chad, as they slowly go behind as Kiefer's getting the second just to be a bit more anticipating, but the monkey has returned. Billy's going to be looking to help them out as much as they can, but they're being very passive about it, and I fully respect that. Now taking the TP a little bit out in the open. It gets canceled and you get punished. That's not what you're looking for, as Billy's going to be falling down very closely with you, and well, there's no ultimate. You have less than 4 people on your team as Abraxas is going to be falling out. That's how you end a full hold.
God Hand did exactly what they needed to do there. They won a long, grinding, grueling fight, which when you're on offense on this double shield, a long, grinding, brutal fight is fairly normal. It just paid off. It worked out for God Hand there. They finally have a little positive momentum. Mammoth Man looking to maybe get a little cheeky with the remech. Can't find any targets though. And Dog? That was interesting.
You know what the dog doing? That's the joke that we'll have to say because Twitch chat probably will. It does seem Frozen is going to be punished for over-aggressing, and this is not really in favor for Devil Dukes as, well, they have to rotate out. The spawn advantage is not there. They just want to take the high ground, wait for their moment. It seems they're putting a bit more pressure onto Mammoth, but having to immediately disengage. The rest of the team look like a bunch of rats scurrying around the castle. They have the bomb as an engagement tool, but it's still going to be more curious to see how they use it out as Billy walks in looking to just bubble around, has to use the primal, but still almost dies. That's really unfortunate. 85%. The rest of the team really don't have much, and Frozen is at least building up that EMP charge, but the rest of the team, they are not there. They are not going to be able to help.
No, they're absolutely not there at all. The dominant will fight there for God Hand. They come into this next fight with 4 ultimates. The EMP is going to be a factor here, though. There will be a good opportunity for a reset for Devil Dukes. They'll have to reset relatively quickly, but they will get a solid reset off. It comes down to this EMP, and we see Zuby also on the Brigida trying to hang back. They do rally, but it gets canceled by that EMP.
Yeah. How? No, it's still going on, but they've lost out ice. That's the problem here.
Oh, no.
Kiefer is still going to die, just doesn't have that rate to disengage, while the rest of the team are split. Dog using that Blossom is going to be punished in the Bongo. That's a lot of ultimates used for what considerably can be debated as a dead fight, especially when Billy is just harassing out Mammoth. The rest of your team, while losing out Cubert, they have the spawn advantage, meaning that you are struggling. So finding out Cam is going to be the bright side. The high noon there, looking to pick you off. Frozen has to immediately disengage, bringing this back from the edge. You gotta feel proud for God's Hand as they are making sure this is in their favor. Though that 2K boop from 2 different sides is kind of a big thumbs up. It's just not enough as we see them slowly falling down God's Hand while losing a little bit, well, more of a lot of that timing, and Frozen missing the stall. They at least get to the 3rd point.
You know, God Hand did a fantastic job there. Just, you know, like you said, it looked like a potentially lost fight for them, but they didn't give up on it. They played slow. They looked for an opportunity to capitalize on some overextension we saw from Kiefer on the Reaper, and they capitalized on it despite losing ice early in that fight. They still were able to take care of this one. This is a big fight right here. This could absolutely decide the ebb and flow of this map.
Yep, that bomb comes and they manage to hack onto Mammoth, but Kiefer, who was setting up for the Death Blossom, gets punished for just peeking for a little too far. You were following close after. The EMP is there and they have the Coalescence, so this may be a fight that they want to invest it in. However, it seems that this isn't really something that they're preferring. They're being a little bit more conservative, a bit more passive on it. And this is now a last fight scenario as they move a little bit closer. The EMP managing to find out 6. The rally is there, but they can't cancel out this Death Blossom that Kiefer is shoving down your throat.
That was a fantastic EMP Blossom, but too much time perhaps still on the clock here for Godhand. 35 seconds left as Godhand will be able to come back now with 3 ultimates on the table. They'll only have to deal with a Primal Rage. Despite losing that fight, Godhand still with a significant opportunity to get the full cap here on Eichenwald with no time left.
Now, at least they have 3 ultimates. As they move back in and, well, Dog is setting up for this Death Blossom, it is a little bit more obvious as they're now going to see where you went. You do find out Kiefer in the midway, so that's what you're looking for. The hack goes on to the Reinhardt, but Frozen gets picked up. Death Blossom out. Poor Cam, actually managing to survive. That's just a little bit different. I guess that's just a Cam power. They are moving back, allowing that space to be taken as the Primal Rage is used inside of Spawn, more of it. Abraxas is the one who has to touch, and they're just barely able to get it with the sound barrier as they're looking to do as much as they can, but Huber's going to fall due to the Death Blossom, and, well, that's going to be the end of the fight as they get off for a split second, and though that may be in overtime, that is still a capture.
What a match so far, guys. Godhand does what they need to do in this do or die situation. Kudos has to go out to their support line for keeping them keeping that head on through these really challenging situations. Zuby came up huge a lot on the Brigida with getting those rallies off just before the EMPs on multiple occasions. It's just what the doctor ordered in those situations for Godhand. It really helped enable their survival. I will say, like you pointed out on that last fight, well, Dog gave his position away. Dog very clearly moved to the high ground. Abraxas instantly mirrored that, but they put so much attention onto Dog, who was able to get out and avoid dying. And because they put so much attention on the Dog, Orsted popped off on the Cassidy, found 3 kills, and instantly turned the fight in the favor of Godhand. So I don't know if that was planned or coordinated, but Orsted took advantage of the opportunity they were given. Has been a very, very strong Cassidy all throughout their time here in Tranquility. And really, that's exactly what they needed. They needed a map like that here. They've got to be feeling good about their chances. But here's the thing. Devil Dukes this is a good map for them. This is a good map for 6-man. I would not be surprised to see Devil Dukes match them here.
I gotta say, though, at least I am feeling a little bit more concerned as this bunker has been doing well to poke them off in a lot of these fights. Frozen is at least getting that time to set up, will be looking for that hack, but who do you get it? Cube has been absolutely massive when it comes to defending the team and has been one of these star players that I've been watching. Though they managed to find out this rotation, Frozen has not found anyone to get that opportunity. Once the hack goes in, that's when they dive. That's when they feel confident. And see, the moment they go in, it seems Ice is going to be the one who gets hacked. There's no immortality just there, and well, at least it wears off, so it's not going to be too much of a problem, but this is still a scary issue as they have to move back into this small cubby, tunneling themselves through one line, but now they make themselves easy target as we see Mammoth is close to losing the mech, but Abraxas is going to be the first one out. Kiefer comes very close to losing their life, but Billy's going to trade. The Coalescence comes, but it's canceled due to Cassidy's own flashbang. Combined with Mammoth using the bomb, that's a pretty lost fight if I've ever seen one.
You know, Devil Dukes, they made a very critical mistake. They did not push this hard enough, but it's really hard to push into this composition. It's so easy to use off angles and establish different points of fire, different points of damage. It really becomes a challenge to push into this composition. And we saw Devil Dukes exactly run into that problem there, despite, Orsted going down very late there. That's a big problem for them right now. You have to like your spot of your Devil Dukes, and here they go. They're going hard.
Yeah, that window may be very nice, but moving behind you is very much nicer. Combined with the EMP, it seems to just had miss out. The Death Blossom is trying to do their best to salvage out of that fight, but it just does not work in their favor. That was such a panic fight.
Billy was so busy pushing to point 2, they completely forgot about point 1, it looked like, for a second there. I don't know what just happened. Orsted with a little bit of BM at the end there, just making a statement. There, you could tell these two teams, they don't get along. They don't like each other very much, it seems.
I definitely have to agree. So as they move in, well, this is a one tick so far taken out. They dive with nothing, and the rally is being used as a perfect counter. Though the sound barrier is at least helping them out for a tiny bit, the high note's behind them. And it seems that was more of just a punishment type of moment where you really just wanted to lose it out. Mammoth's gonna get hacked, that bomb being thrown inside of the small house. Though it seems Billy's gonna be getting more out of it as the remake just does a little bit more damage. There are still more than enough folks on this point for the side of Godhand to stall it out as they get the remake and they kill off Billy. How are they sustaining this back every time? Though the Coalescence is used, there's really not much that you can get out of it as that shield is perfectly protecting anyone who would die, and this is a minute. Oh my goodness.
Godhand just continues to win these long fights. It's the biggest problem against Double Shield. You cannot play a long, drawn-out fight against them. You need to conclude fights quickly. If you give them time, the damage will build up to a point of no return, and that's exactly what happened. What a pick. What a huge pick.
Yeah, but what an EMP. It manages to get the 6, yet Dog is still going to use that Molten Core to even it out. Luckily, though, Devil Dukes die immediately. This was the biggest worry I had with them using the 6-man, and you said it was good. How do you feel about that now?
I take it back. I'm sorry. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm a silver in this. You know what? I don't care what you guys think. Never mind. They got one tick to go here. 6-man cannot be stopped. 6-man is so powerful. Do not underestimate the 6-man dive. That said, they're in a tough spot here. No ultimates coming back. They're going to be dealing with bongos. They're going to be dealing with a rally more than likely in the middle of this fight. It's a tough spot right now if you're Devil Dukes.
I definitely agree. Look at that, losing out Frozen so early is a problem. You try to go out, do as much as you can, but the DMAC, the splits, the halt, that's basically a full hold, and that is not looking good for the side of Devil Dukes. We're going to the last map because Eichenwald is in favor of God's Hand.
What a hold from Godhand, a statement made from Godhand that they will not be dying off yet here. We take it to map 7. We're going to another payload match. We got the 7 map epic that we were expecting coming into this. Devil Dukes and Godhand just absolutely bringing it to each other yet again. And I can't say I'm surprised. I can't, because my God, these teams are just outstanding.
I definitely have to agree, but I felt Devil Dukes were off. I don't know what was going wrong, but they convincingly were winning those fights at times and then just fell off. Either they got Remake killed, the Orisa was able to live. They stopped focusing their fire, and that wasn't looking like the Devil Dukes that we've seen throughout this series. God had benefited a lot from them, and they were able to get that full hold when Devil Dukes were at first going to full hold. Now, well, it's going to be scary to see the last map come out. There has to be no room for mistakes.
You know, there has to be no room for mistakes right now for either team when it comes down to this is it. We moved not to Ilios. I don't know why they're going to Ilios. It's supposed to be a payload map. If our producer might want to, you know, mention it's that, but it looks like
They're going crazy.
They're getting fixed right now. Hashtag map pools in the chat, everybody. But
Look at the bright. It's because you're the director. Why are you correcting them?
I might be a tier director here. What can I say? But in the end, it comes down to this. There's no room for error from either team. They're going over to a payload map next here. There's 2 payload maps left in the pool. Taking a look here, it could go to either Watch Point Gibraltar or Dorado. So 2 maps here. I'm sorry?
I was gonna say, Devil Duke's picking the map. Am I wrong?
Devil Dukes do get map picks, so they get the choice here between Dorado and Watch Point. So it's a big opportunity for them to be able to come back and take this one on a map of their choosing. And if I were them right now, their dive has been so effective, I would head right over to Gibraltar. But we'll see what they...
I have to agree. You know, I think, and apologies for interrupting because I'm very excited. I think my adrenaline's starting to pump in with how close this match is. But as much as Dorado is a fun map, Gibraltar is very much the stronger one for the side of Devil Dukes. I think Godhand have had a little less experience onto the mirror. We've seen it happen, and while they are able to take it, with Frozen winning in the EMP war at that time on Lijiang Tower, it's been the big benefit, and it's been helping them out. So Devil Dukes have been the ones, and will be the ones who win in that type of mirror. Double Shield does not work, or Bunker does not work as well. So, you know, I think this is really going to be a map difference.
If they go to Gibraltar like I expect them to here, it's gonna be a big opportunity for Devil Dukes to take this one, I think. But you never know. I mean, we've seen Godhand rise up in very challenging situations before. We could very easily see it again here. Devil Dukes still making decisions on what they're going to be doing for a map. As a reminder, they are going to be taking on the winner of the other semifinal match. That was between Alpha and Battalion. Reckless Alpha taking it 4-1. And so Alpha is waiting for the winner here in that finals, airing next week, Wednesday, on this very channel. And in addition to that, other matches that have been ongoing or are concluded in Harmony tier. Flashbacks books their ticket to the finals, winning 4-0 over Frost Nova. And Koala Kings and Chrysalis is still ongoing, with Chrysalis attacking, they are attacking right now on Blizzard World on map 6. They are down 3-2, so Chrysalis trying to extend that match right now against the defending champion Koala Kings. Marsupial Gaming, again, with the opportunity to push 3 teams into the finals. We are watching that storyline today. Paradise Lost taking on Quack Queens. That's going to air tomorrow on this very channel. But the winner of that match will be taking on Reminiscence in the finals, as Reminiscence books a big 4-0 win over Domination. So a lot of what's been decided for next week. Again, we have matches Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on this channel. We have the finals coming up. It's all come down to this, user.
I agree. And it seems that our very much last map, it's very hard to stall or really draw on this map. It's going to be Dorado. Not Watch Point Gibraltar that we were expecting because it works so well with Dive. Yep. It seems we're more looking at a map which it makes me nervous, and yet I'm still so excited to see who brings it out.
I am surprised, but I am excited. And we'll see what happens. I honestly, I feel like this maybe opens it up a little bit more to where I think either team could win this. I was expecting Watch Point, and I'm surprised that we don't have it. But here we go. Devil Dukes, GDH, Map 7. We've seen this rivalry all season. It has been a fantastic rivalry. These teams have gone at each other in Discord or in our Discord. They have matches that they let's just say they have a nice relationship, and it's been a heck of a rivalry between these two teams. Really, one of the finest rivalries this season in Tranquility. It's all going to come to a head here. It ends in about 10 minutes, guys. This rivalry will be over, and we'll finally have the team who reigns supreme for season 8 or season 7, and Godhand looking to get that repeat championship. Devil Dukes coming in their first season, looking to make a statement, guys. The storylines write themselves at this point. User, I'm just excited.
I'm at the point where my entire body is getting really like weak, but my eyes and my everything else is stuck to this screen as we get ready to set out. I'm wondering, do Devil Dukes try anything different? They've seemed very confident onto this Shadow Dive. And luckily enough, with this kind of extended moment where they're getting to have a second, they're at least going to be able to refresh their mentals and come in. But Godhand, they've got to be feeling proud because they have made sure that they've continued moving forward. And I mean, let's just get a moment to talk about how well some of these players have been shining. I think at least for Devil Dukes, those big points have been the DPS combined with Billy, while on Godhand, for me, it has to be that support line and the tank line.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Ice all night tonight, but Zuby came up huge on multiple occasions. Huge rallies right when they needed them to counter EMPs out, and we saw them on on a couple of fights completely take Frozen out of it, and that's exactly the goal there as a Brigitte player. You want to take Frozen or you want to take the Sombra completely out of the picture, and they did a great job at doing that. So I look at what Zuby did last map, and that was their shining map. And Zuby, Tranquility Hall of Famer in his own right, and came up big when they absolutely needed him to. So it all comes down to this right now. Godhand has a little bit of positive momentum, but again, this is a map that was selected by Devil Duke. So you got to figure they're confident, they're comfortable, and they come out on this again. They come out on the 6-man here on defense.
You know, in the wise words of something that keeps playing in my mind, they're just different. You know, maybe the Dallas Fuels skins, like NPC has been spewing out in chat, has actually been, you know, a true prayer. You know, maybe this is what they've been working for, and it might be the opportunity they've needed. They look like they really want to go for a close hold against this bunker, and I think that's absolutely what you need to do.
I agree. I think it's absolutely what you should try to do here is just to get a close hold, to get some momentum taken away here, especially when you're playing this kind of 6-man. You don't really necessarily care about that choke point that a lot of Reinhardt or Double Shield comps prefer. Right? You gotta do they know the close hold is here?
No, they know the Sombra.
They absolutely know.
They have to know. They had a Sombra for a second.
Oh, yeah.
And look at them. As they wait, it seems Isis is going to be the one who gets hacked, but Dog is the first one who gets dangerously low. They immediately rotate out. They don't want to walk into a Roadhog of all characters, so while they wait for Mammoth to switch over to the D.Va and for Frozen to find out a hack, it seems the Brigade is putting a lot of resources just trying to shut down Frozen, which has been a shining point throughout this game.
They cleared the corner. That's actually big, though.
Yeah, that's absolutely massive as they're going to be able to move forward, and it's going to be harder for Billy to do much. The hack does manage to find Andy, but with the Braxis going dangerously low and not having too much in the DM category, there's not much that you find for it, so the poke is being committed. Billy has to use that jump just to disengage, and the Shadow Dive is not finding anything out of this. Though that amazing DM peels in, manages to save the team for a little longer, they've swapped sides, and Frozen is basically out of the fight, not going to be able to help, and that payload is moving while the rest of the team are now diving as the attacking side. Not really what you want to be looking out for, though. At least Kevster is going to be able to find out Oz and make that more favorable. The Immortality is going to save you for a little bit longer. Kevster is going to just help out. They bring it back, but that payload went a little bit farther than I really thought it would.
Kiefer has been playing so long. They've now moved up to the Los Angeles Gladiators and are now playing as Kevster apparently. But that being said, it's 7 maps, man. We've been at this for a long time. I gotta commend you just on sticking with it for as long as you have, because I'm tired. But here we go nonetheless. The long fight typically favors Double Shield, but 6-man came through here, and EMP is everything right now.
I definitely agree. And
It's
it
huge.
pops out. It's a bon appetit moment. The only problem is with molten core, you know, the spaghetti on the sauce is being a little bit too spicy to handle, and yet they still go in for more. Just cleaning up that fight. A beautiful engagement from Devil Dukes. And, well, they're still going to have a lot more to be able to move in.
Dog brought the sauce to that fight, and unfortunately the sauce was, while spicy, just not enough sauce to really take care of Devil Dukes here. But the rally's in from Zuby. They're going to push this right away, and it's a good move because Devil Dukes are still getting reset here. They haven't been able to fully reset on this defense.
Yep, that bongo's getting used combined with the bomb. And that's such a nice bomb. The only part is it just was a little bit too high. The high noon making that space.
Oh, Kiefer, no.
Yeah, what a death blossom, interestingly enough. And it seems once again, Devil Dukes are not going to be able to solidify this full hold. They're at a big disadvantage. And, well, they can't dive onto anyone. Cube is just being able to walk in as a Reinhardt onto the Brigida. Not much that you can do to try to shut that down. I guess you're just going to have to work it onto Streets phase.
Yeah, that was an impressive push there. They survived that EMP. They managed to handle that very effectively. And that Diva bomb, it looked like it was going to get 5 people. It really did. But I have to give it to Devil Dukes. They were able to just barely avoid that. And but it really set the momentum in the God Hand's favor here. Now here's a point where 6-man can get a huge advantage because they can hold that high ground. Dog has pushed up onto the window ledge to try to contest this, but it's gonna be tough for him.
Yep. Gets hacked, immediately punished. Now there's just nothing that they can do. As Twitch chat catches up to make fun of my mistakes, we're gonna be looking at the rest of God Hands.
Kevster. Hey, you know what? Kevster right now is going to be big. You got to figure Kevster will bring something to the table for Devil Dukes, but Kiefer will have to do, I guess.
Yeah.
So Frozen has an EMP that will have to do as well, and this could be a very, very big ultimate here. Here we go. Frozen setting up again. This is a great camera angle, and it sets up another beautiful one.
4K as they melt down the rest of God's Hand. Are you trying to C9 the Devil Dukes? No.
I feel like I could enjoy watching Frozen play Sombra for a very long time because Frozen Sombra has been an absolute stud all night long, and I am so impressed with what Frozen has done. They've completely flipped the script on how GDH wants to play this match. They've required so much attention, and you know, despite maybe losing some effectiveness as the night's gone on, as GDH has adjusted, it's still been outstanding to watch.
Yep, they place that window, and poor Billy is forced to use that primal just to escape, but the bomb finds out Andy. You have a shield. What a poor fool. It's going to be feeling a little bit memed on in the chat in a bit as they catch up, and the rest of God's Hand, well, they have to go up against a sound barrier. Though they're able to play inside this house, the Blossom walks in, immediately gets stunned and punished, but they find out Cube, so that's going to be less of an issue. And he has to walk into this as well, which is going to be that big problem. So Mammoth throws in the bomb, looking to make in that space, forcing Frozen to disengage and giving your Orisa more room to move in.
That was
definitely a benefit.
Bomb. I mean, it was a great bomb. It's exactly what you wanted there. You established a little bit of space, even though you didn't get a kill. Like, just creating that space is exactly what the double shield needed here. And now they have a rally. They could really push in on this. They have a lot of damage.
Combined with the bongo, there is just so much that they managed to shut down, especially Billy's own mobility. Not much that they're going to be able to do. Combined with the high noon, every time they get close, they are not able to bring it out. Choking harder than someone suffocating. God's Hand, they captured that second point.
You know, we've seen it all night tonight so far. Dog will dive in deep, either on a Reaper, or we saw it when they were on other heroes earlier in the match. And then Orisa just cleans up. It's happened. It seems like it's been a tale as old as time tonight. We've seen that consistently. GDH with a strong push here, looking to push it to the third point here and really make a statement to Devil Dukes.
This EMP is still set and prepared. Lands on both of the tanks, but the immortality combined with the window, well, that's more of a punishing dive for you. Just trying to be aggressive and trying to shut them down. You got to go for that support line as well. They're going to be able to peel in. Poor Kiefer too. Just not going to have much.
I feel like that was just an error in judgment on Frozen's end. We see them switching over to the Cassidy here to end it. I don't like that. Oh my God, they just get punished by Dog. That is such a shame for Frozen. Frozen didn't see that coming at all. Couldn't even stun him out.
Yep, both bombs are being thrown just to find value or as much as they can. The immortality is gone, and it seems Cam is going to be the one who makes the difference. They now have the sustainability as they move out. Billy, once again, getting a massive primal, looking to just pump onto the chest. But this is at 50 seconds.
That 50 seconds now, Godhand nearly full pulled here. Devil Dukes are in a good position right now. They have good ultimates, both support ultimates coming up here. GDH hoping to perhaps build a rally up before we get into this next fight. But you got to love the position you're in right now if you're Devil Dukes. You just barely were able to hold on. As long as Orsted doesn't get a huge deadeye here, I have a good feeling Devil Dukes will be able to hold.
The High Noon is at least a very nice ability. And they're playing underneath, so they have room to push that payload, and, well, they have sightlines. Please touch that point in a good second. It seems they are going to be able to get it while that High Noon gets placed out. Kiefer is looking for that Death Blossom, and they lose out Billy, so they need it. It gets placed in. Immortality is more than enough to sustain through it, and now the Bongo is out. Once again, Devil Dukes aren't able to kind of solidify when this is kind of being the struggling point. There is the Lucio on the point just to try to help out, but it's just not enough as we see the rest of Godhand looking strong and beautiful, managing to capture this once in overtime, similar to Eichenwald.
I am so impressed with Godhand on this one. They capitalized on some really tough fights. You know, they made some really hard decisions, and what I like about what they're doing is they key off of each other so well. It's one of those things that you really can't teach. It's just something you get just by playing with people for a very long time, and we've seen that with GDH. It's a team that's been together now for 2.5 years. They've been playing Overwatch so long together. In fact, it's expected that this is going to be their very last Overwatch tournament. So for these guys, this is it. This is everything they've been building for 2.5 years of playing together in this game. And I just feel like that chemistry, that synergy that these guys have with each other, it makes all the difference for how they play this game. I mean, that said, though, Devil Dukes has done such an amazing job with just outstanding overall team play and communication. You have to love what Devil Dukes has been doing all night, despite the fact that GDH get that full pull. Devil Dukes is not out of this. And if you're thinking they're out of this in the chat, you were making a critical mistake. This is just the situation that Devil Dukes, that we've seen Devil Dukes in before. Their backs against the wall. Now is their opportunity to make a statement of their own. And now is their opportunity to strike back against the hand of God and take down the season 6 champions. But here we go, trying to book a ticket now to season 7 championship. Godhand versus Devil Dukes. Devil Dukes need to full pull.
Yeah, but I mean, the big problem is the longer this match goes, the more they are just being pressured, and Devil Dukes aren't really getting too much out of it. They seem to just kind of be falling under, so hopefully Frozen can help the team as they get the hack onto Mammoth on this high ground. The bunker is going to be able to freely rotate, making it very hard for the dive to find any room to move in. Do you try and just risk it? I don't know. As Frozen manages to just barely escape from that halt, they are going to be able to survive. The dive still taking a second. They are getting hit with so much damage, it's not even funny. Ice already at 50% to their ultimate, though they want to try and take out Andy. Look at this. So much of the DM is being able to deny that damage. The immortality being perfectly safe. Frozen gets picked off first. They may find Andy, but eventually, well, Billy's going to fall close. Same with the Braxis. It's just not even worth it.
It's just great Orisa play from Andy. And what I will say is I'm giving Andy a ton of credit for how strong the Orisa has been tonight. Ice on the Baptiste has been it's been textbook tonight. It's been almost a masterclass in Baptiste play we've seen from Ice all night tonight. And what I will say too, Mammoth Man on the Diva has been so critical tonight in just very good DM usage. They're helping keep Andy up through really challenging fights so often. It's just been an absolute difference maker. It's been an absolute team. Individual performances have been outstanding from GDH. Devil Dukes is not out of this.
Yeah, the Coalescence gets used, trying to just make that opening, but Kiefer just goes down dangerously low. They have to retreat. Mammoth is also blocking out the payload. They're trapped within a box that they let themselves in. This is almost like a mouse trap, though the hack onto Mammoth is going to be absolutely beautiful. Not going to be able to remac and come back. The Bongo helps Dog immediately melt down Billy. The Death Blossom cleans everything up, and well, it's just getting a lot harder for Devil Dukes to push in.
It is definitely a lot harder right now for Devil Dukes. They're absolutely on the ropes right now. They will come back here with 4 ultimates, but Godhand isn't exactly sitting on a bunch of nothing right now either. We've seen them in this exact situation before, where they have a rally to help counter out an EMP. If Devil Dukes can't execute a very strong dive here off of this EMP, Zuby with that rally is going to make a big difference here, and Zuby's just hunting for Frozen.
Yeah, but look,
They got stunned out of the EMP! Oh my god, Zuby!
they were making fun of Cube earlier for this, and then Cube gets it, shuts it down, stops his push. Even Frozen going on to the May. The bomb comes a little bit too high, and now the rest of the dive feeling a little bit more clowny, as Billy's just gonna barely be able to escape. But it's not even in their favor, as the window helps melt them down. The Coalescence gets engaged. I'm thinking they want to switch up, but this is going to be a last-minute comp switch, especially because look at that, Billy onto the Reinhardt.
It's an absolute desperation switch here. They even sacrifice ultimates for it. I just have to say, Zuby had made probably the play of the night just a minute ago, and it absolutely could lock this thing down. It could be what the critical point of this match here for Devil Dukes, for GDH. Here we go. Last chance for Devil Dukes.
They're moving out the bongos there, meaning that Reinhardt shield is going dangerously low. They want to place back, but we see the bunker moving in closer. Kiefer's already gone. The star DPS is mailing down as Dog is able to use the Blossom, the High Noon as well. There's just not much that you're going to be able to bring out, as Kiefer wants to be going on to the Doomfist. Abraxas tries to touch the point as the full diva, but goes in as a baby, immediately gets punished as they touch the point. I can't believe it, folks. This is how it ends. A full hold back to back, and it seems that Devil Dukes will have to try next season if they want any chance to be taking that title. I want to be giving a love. I want to be giving proud. I want to be giving a big clap of the hand, because God Hand takes the victory 4-3.
Wow. What a match. Just absolutely back and forth. So many players standing out at different times. This was, without a doubt, one of the better matches we've seen this season in Tranquility. Maybe one of the best matches we've seen all time in Tranquility. This is an absolute instant classic, guys. 122 of you sitting here watching the end of this. It's kind of a shame the last map wasn't a little bit closer. Just Godhand came out with an absolute vengeance to secure their spot and an opportunity to defend last season's championship against the juggernaut that is Reckless Alpha. We have Godhand versus Reckless Alpha. It's the match we've been wanting to see for 2 seasons, yet have been denied. We finally get to see what Alpha can do against the Hand of God.
Honestly, I still feel Devil Dukes have nothing to feel ashamed about. Though a part of the Marsupial branding, they came in strong. They've been really good throughout the season, but, well, you just have to refine some things. Maybe it's the mentals, maybe it's just the fact that you guys weren't able to clean up some things. Godhand just looked absolutely amazing continuously out this series, and, you know, I think I want to talk about a little bit about MVPs very early on, because I'm very excited about this. Though,
Yes.
I don't know if I've been saying their name wrong the entire time. You weren't correcting me, nor could I tell, but for me, it's Cube. You know? I think Cube absolutely showed up.
I know Cube as Zuby. That's what they were known as for forever here in Tranquility. So, Cube, Zuby, they're the same person. But, I mean, when it came down to it, we talked about Ice a ton. We talked about Andy. We talked about Mammoth Man. We talked about the DPS. But at the end of the night, what made a massive difference is the brig play from Cube, from Zuby. It clutched up in the exact time that GDH needed it. I was blown away by just the ability from Zuby, who is their lowest SR player, to just step up and take control and really neutralize the player who, in my opinion, was dominating the lobby initially in Frozen. But again, Devil Dukes, considering the start of the season, the stage 2 you had, to go as far as you did, This is a remarkable run for Devil Dukes in their first season here in Tranquility. I cannot wait to see what this team does in the future. They have proven to absolutely be contenders moving forward, and I am blown away by what that org continues to bring to the table here in Tranquility.
I absolutely have to agree. A lot of love just going in for Cube. I think, as a support player myself, even if I hate Brigitte, I've got to feel impressed just because of how much they shut down, especially that EMP, which could have just allowed Devil Dukes to gain the momentum that they wanted back. It's a lot of love going on both sides. I may have worked for Marsupial before, but I gotta say I'm a God's hand fan now, at least. But either way, that's pretty much the end of the series when it comes down to you and me. But there are still more to come, at least for Tranquility, because as you said, there was a really good matchup that's being streamed tomorrow, right? What was it?
Yeah, it's Paradise Lost taking on Quokka Queens. Winner gets Reminiscence in next week's finals next Thursday. That match is coming to you live here, on delay, pardon me, here on this very channel. But next week, as a reminder, 3 finals. Harmony tier. You have the Flashbacks already booked their ticket into the finals. They are currently waiting for the winner of Chrysalis and Flashbacks. I'm sorry, Chrysalis and Koala Kings. By the way, that match right now is in map 7 on Dorado. You might want to go try to find a stream for that if you want, because that's a good one. That's going on right now, guys, and you probably should go find a stream for that. But that is great. We saw Reminiscence already book their ticket to the finals, like I said earlier. Flashbacks already in the finals. And then the finals and Transcendence here set for next Wednesday. Alpha taking on Godhand. We finally get the match that we've been wanting to see. Guys, these finals are going to be insane. I can't wait to see it. And I know you have the privilege of you'll be broadcasting one of them next week, right?
Yeah, I will be helping out. I will be broadcasting. So if you kind of want to stay tuned and make sure you're being caught up with them, because there are a lot of amazing casters as well, besides from me. I feel great to be able to say that. I want you to be able to follow the Tranquility Twitter with full confidence to know you will get updated not only on stream, but score lines, player matchups. If somebody got canceled, somebody is a smurf, whatever, we will make sure to keep you updated on the smallest detail. You can hit that heart to stay up to date when it comes to the Tranquility streams. The bell will make sure you get notified. You can hit the sub, which means that you'll be supporting the stream. You can go over to the website and get yourself a nice shirt, a nice cups, anything that you want to support your favorite team. It is 15% off, but more than anything, make sure that you can check out both me and Yeti, as our Twitters are down below, especially our producer, Mr. Leggy-san, who's done an amazing job making sure that you have the content that you've been looking for, and amazing camera angles that you've been, hopefully, really caught off guard by. So we want to thank you so much, and thank you for Devil Dukes for joining us. But either way, this is the end for Tranquility to Transcendence match for now. We hope to see you next time when it comes down to Tranquility.
We're looking forward to next week's, guys. Take care.